All right, what's going on, everybody? What's going on? We got Silent Chris in here. As always, I'm sitting here trying to find a stream. The stream that I have preloaded always goes out right before the game started. So right now, I see the Vikings have the ball. And like I said, I'm working on getting a stream up that I can actually see because right now they just keep showing me jet streams. But for now, I see that there's 1447, just got a stream up. 1447 in the first quarter. Vikings have the ball. And okay. So apparently there's a negative. Okay, so this stream I found is way behind, but we'll stick with this one for now. So I'm just gonna call it as if it's my first time seeing it, which it is. And we'll take it from there until I can find another stream that's a little further ahead. So the Giants, their new kicker, I think Ben Sauls is his name, is gonna kick off. They got a close up of 9. JJ McCarthy, number 9. And yeah, this stream is way behind. That's the crazy thing. Hopefully I can find something newer. See if I can get this to come up. Because when I tell you this is behind, it's behind like crazy. And yeah, Silent Chris, I mean, these videos it's crazy. And like I've been pretty busy. I haven't done stuff during the week as much. But I at least like to come on here and stream, make my post-game vids. And of course, like I'll be a little bit more active once we get into the whole draft time and coach talk and GM stuff. So apparently Ben Sauls kicked it directly out of bounds, his first kick. That's not good. And this stream just isn't working. I'm telling you, like the NFL is really cracking down on these things. Like they're really cracking down here these days. Used to be a lot easier to get into a stream. All right. So the one stream I have is lagging. And it's like a minute, it's like 2 minutes behind. Because right now I'm looking at the clock. There's a quick deflected pass from Tyler Newman. So that's an incompletion from JJ McCarthy. And there's literally 12 minutes left in the game right now in the first quarter. And I'm at 14:56. So I'm literally 2 game minutes behind, which means I might be like 5 minutes real time behind. Meanwhile, I'm looking at this. Justin Jefferson has a catch for 13 yards. Their tight end, Oliver, has a catch. And then I just fast forwarded into the future. So we'll take it. We'll take it. They got a man in motion here. JJ McCarthy, handoff to the running back, and he is going to get stopped short of the 30-yard line. So the Vikings will have a second and 10 come up. So yeah, like my stream just literally just teleported to the future. Now I just wish I could just get it not to lag. So that was Abdul Carter that blew that play up. Ever since the guy's been coming early and leaving late, I mean, that last game was amazing. So you got the Vikings in a huddle. It's 2nd and 10. The Vikings rank what? They were scoring like 10 points a game, week 10 through 13. It's crazy. Here we go. Last 2 weeks, they've been 32 points per game, 320 yards per game. So Vikings in the gun. 9 has the ball. 9 trying to make something happen, throws the screen. He's got a lot of space, and my stream is lagging. And it looks like that's Aaron Jones. Is he still on the Vikings? But yeah, I think that's Aaron Jones catches it and gets about 6 yards right there. Or is that Mason? That was actually Mason that got that. So you got a third and somewhat short coming up for the Vikings. And you got a man on the ground, and I think that might be the running back. And we teleport in the future again. So yeah, hopefully I can find another stream, folks, because this is nuts. Okay. Looks like I may have found one for now. So nothing's really happening right now. I think they're still trying to get this guy figured out. Running back Jordan Mason for the Vikings. So you'll have a 3rd and 4 coming up when they get Mason off the field here. This is the craziest thing. They're really sitting there saying that we need to consider taking Fernando Mendoza. like that's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like the narrative that Jackson Dart has 5 concussions this year, like people are running with it. They're saying every time he's gone to the tent, he's had a concussion. Here we go. JJ McCarthy dropped back to pass under pressure by, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That was just awful. So McCarthy is fading away, throws a duck into the air. The ball is in the air forever. Cordell Flott is trailing Addison and had a chance if he turned around for an interception, but never turns around. Addison basically catches an open touchdown and just drops it. Like just drops it. Hit him right in the chest and he hit the ground and just dropped it. So that's just as bad a drop as you can ask for from Jordan Addison. So the Vikings are going to line up to kick a 43-yarder, and it's true, right down the middle. After Neighbors and Scat went down, Adebo showed it. Yeah, the depth at corner is bad. The depth on a lot of positions is bad here, but especially corner. We can't cover anybody. And then Adebo hasn't been as good as I'd like him to be. Yeah, like it's crazy. Like, why are we doing like Mendoza is a guy who would not have been taken over Jackson Dart last year. I don't believe he would have. I just don't think so. So I don't get why people are saying let's take Mendoza with the first pick, and then we're going to like, come on, man. Like we're going to take Mendoza with the first pick, and then Jackson Dart is going to be traded to another team. And they're saying, oh, because you can get a lot for Jackson Dart. He's already proven that he can be a good quarterback. So if he's proven he can be a good quarterback, the guy has 20 total touchdowns right now, 4 interceptions, and maybe 2 fumbles. So 20 total touchdowns, 6 turnovers. And you're just saying, oh, let's trade him away because he's shown he's a good player. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. And people they're packaging this on the back of, he's just going to get a concussion. He's just going to get a bunch of concussions anyway. I just don't get it. Like the idea that this guy is, yes, he plays a little reckless at times, but the idea that he is literally just a concussion magnet where he's going to be a guy that keeps getting concussions over and over again, because I just don't see that. I just don't see it. He slid a bunch of times the last couple of weeks. He's gone out of bounds. I think that hit that he took from the guy on the Patriots, it is what it is. He took a hit. I mean, I think he was trying to get the first down, didn't see the guy coming, and got hit. But other than that, I just don't think that he plays a style that's so reckless to where he just can't hold up in the league. I just don't see that. I just can't see that happen at all. So the Vikings just kicked the field goal. We're going to see Jackson Dart back out there for the first time in a week, and he's hit a wall. You know, speaking of this whole thing, Jackson Dart has hit a wall. And I say he's hit a wall because first, teams are starting to figure him out. Second, we're running the ball with him a lot less because of the narrative that, you know, he can't protect himself. He's going to get hurt, all that stuff. And then Brian Dable is gone. And I had a lot of criticisms of Brian Dable, but one thing about Brian Dable is that he's a positive force for all of these young quarterbacks he's worked with. So I think that's affected him. Now he's got to bounce back from that, and I think he has the natural tools to be able to do a lot of what he's done already, without Dable here. But he's got to show it. But this isn't enough to say that we're going to get rid of him and take Fernando Mendoza, of all people. Like, at least let Jackson Dart go out there a second year and fall on his face before you say, oh, let's replace him with Mendoza. When especially if we have the first pick, which I don't think we will, because I think we're going to win this game, but maybe not. But if we do have the first pick, we can easily just trade that pick for picks. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, they're saying you can get a haul for Jackson Dart. You can get a haul for the number one pick. So the Vikings kicker is lining up to kick this off. And it is going to land right inside the 10. Deontay Banks is taking this out. Deontay Banks across the 30, running through some people, and he's down at the 35. Nice return. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I mean, we finally get good offense, and the defense is historically bad. Like I said, for a nice amount of time, we were getting about 25 points a game. And the defense was just so bad, it didn't matter. So here we go. Jackson Dart under center. You got Tyrone Tracy, Daniel Bellinger in the backfield. Tracy's got the ball. Tracy's got space. Tracy's got the outside. Tracy across the 50. Nice first run by the Giants on that looked like a power O to the left. 18-yard run from Tyrone Tracy. And that the announcer just basically just said exactly what I was going to say, which is if you're playing against Brian Flores, you want to be able to run the football. You don't want your quarterback back there throwing 40 times because Flores is a disaster maker at defensive coordinator. So back under center in the I formation, 2 tight ends and Bellinger. Another handoff. Tracy again. Tracy up the middle, 2 straight gashes. Tracy this time for 13 yards, 2 straight first down runs from the Giants. Giants are going right upfield at these guys. Right upfield. So two dominant runs, first 2 plays. 2 dominant runs from Tyrone Tracy and the Giants offensive line and Bellinger in at fullback. Same formation here. And another handoff to Tracy. Tracy's cutting back. Tracy's going to get, looks like he got about 2 or 3 yards, maybe 1. So the Vikings defense kind of stands up a little bit. And Marcus Bowe is still in the play. He's still in the game. So they that's actually Aaron Stinney in there as the 3rd tight end. So that was a 2-yard gain there. 2nd and 8. Stinney's still in there. 3 tight ends, including Stinney, or 4 tight ends. Tracy tries to get to the outside again, and Tracy's going to get 2 yards. So the Giants will have a 3rd and 6 coming up, but they've had 4 straight runs, 2 for first downs, 2 for 2 yards each. So they'll have this 3rd and medium coming up, 3rd and 6. The Vikings are going to definitely pin their ears back. I wouldn't be surprised from what we've seen from Kafka, especially at this part of the field. I wouldn't be surprised to see some kind of a draw play. We're here at the 31-yard line. We're in the gun. The Vikings are mixing some things up before the play starts. They just move their safeties around, put some linebackers in the A gap, drop those guys. Jackson Dart had a guy open, and there's a flag. And that is going to be on Byron Murphy. And they're going to say, actually, it was on Wan'Dale Robinson. And it's a push off, I think. We'll see. We'll see. So they say pass interference on defense, holding on 64. So offensive holding on the offensive line and on pass interference on Byron Murphy. So we'll replay 3rd and 6 here. Again, the Vikings showed a lot of they showed a lot of kind of window dressing on that 3rd and 6. And Dart went to the right man. The ball was just a little bit short, and Wandell was getting interfered with. So the Vikings have Harrison Smith here lined up in the line of scrimmage here. So they're doing some more crazy stuff. Dart's going to have to figure out how to make the right play. He's got to get rid of it, and he's not going to. And there's a flag down. As Harrison Smith sacks Jackson Dart, he came unblocked. And I think because he landed on him, we're going to get a first down. And the Giants are going to get bailed out. We're going to get bailed out there because Jackson Dart did not see Harrison Phillips. He got completely confused. And because Harrison Smith's helmet hit Jackson Dart, that is an easy call. So Harrison Smith bailed us out there. Said we're tanking. I wonder if you're ahead of me. We'll see. So the Giants inside the 20 at the 15.5-yard line, 1st and 10, back under center, 2 wide receivers, and Tyrone Tracy back behind Jackson Dart. 5 seconds left on the play clock. Again at the 15.5. Pitch to Tyrone Tracy. Tracy stops and stutters, and he's going to lose a yard. And we get a horrible spot there from the referee. We lost about a half a yard, but he tried to give us like a yard and a half loss. So they literally gave us a 2-yard loss instead of a 1-yard loss or a half-yard loss. So that's not good, but it is what it is there. The Giants are going to have to, call some kind of play action or something because the Vikings are keying in on the run now. So 2nd and 12 coming up. Hodgins in motion. Dart making some calls at the line of scrimmage, staying alert. Here we go. Hand off to Tracy again. Tracy up the middle, and Tracy's got about 5 yards there on 2nd and 12. So we'll get a 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 8 coming up. That's exactly what we got. 3rd and 8 coming up. One thing that Mike Kafka does is he's not going to abandon the run. Okay, Jackson Dart in the gun, 3 wide receivers left. Another handoff to Tracy, and we get 3 yards. They're on 3rd and 8. And they're going for it. Mike Kafka doesn't care. He knows he's not getting this job. He's like, whatever, we're going for it on 4th down either way. So we got a 3rd and 5 coming up, or 4th and 5. And you know what's funny? We got Ben Sauls in there who, I have hope for as a kicker. But when we didn't have any hope at kicker, why didn't we just go for it on 4th down in these situations? Here we go. 4th and 5 coming up. Jackson Dart back there by himself. He's going to have to snap this ball. And he does. And he's got to get rid of it. He's running away, and he's going to get sacked. Yeah, there was an early jump by the defender of the Vikings. And I wouldn't say early, but he jumped right when the snap started. Got around Andrew Thomas, forced Dart to step up and run, and that just broke contain for him, and he just got sacked. So not a good drive, not a good ending to the drive by the Giants there, but way to run the ball, I guess. And the Vikings will get this ball back inside the 15-yard line. So yeah, Okay, how long was I on mute, folks? How long was I on mute? I don't know if I just pressed it on accident, but what I was saying is we always end up in these woulda, coulda, shoulda situations where it's like if we would have taken that field goal, if we would have made that field goal, if we wouldn't have done this, if the ball wouldn't have just slipped out of the quarterback's hands, we would have won the game. And it's like I just don't. I mean, I don't have much hope for this team to be able to execute in the key situations. And that's always been on the coaching, starting off with Brian Dable and anything that Kafka is doing to fix that. It's just not going to, it's not going to, you're not going to completely shift the culture unless you're just like a really great coach. You're not going to shift that culture that quickly. It's just not going to happen. In the middle of the season, when you've already been there, you're just not going to shift it that quickly. So these guys just cannot execute in the key situations. But yeah, I mean, you're going for it on 3rd and 5. You got to have some better protection than that. I understand, like the execution is just bad because the reason that he was able to get off of the snap like that is because we had to snap the ball at 1 second, so he knew that we would be able to, that we had to snap the ball then. So you get instant pressure. Andrew Thomas can't even get a hand on the guy because we get the playoff so late. So it's like if you know you're going for it on 4th and 5, do you not have some plays that you want to call to have it ready so your team can get set and actually be set before the play starts and not have to rush? But here we go, Vikings under center, play action, JJ McCarthy. JJ McCarthy stepping up, he's running and he's going to dive forward for a gain of 9. They're going to actually call it 8. So here we go. Vikings looks like Jordan Mason is still banged up. So they have CJ Ham in the game right now. 2nd and 2 coming up. Handoff to Ham. And he just hits the Giants defensive line at the line of scrimmage and just carries them 3 yards across the first down marker. So Jordan Mason and Aaron Jones are both injured. So it looks like the Vikings are going to be down to their 3rd running back. Aaron Jones is trying to stretch things out, see if he can come back in the game. But the way his ankle just been, it didn't look good. Not like it's like a break or anything, but it just looked like a sprain for sure. JJ McCarthy now in the shotgun. He's throwing a short pass to Justin Jefferson on the out route, and he just drops the ball. So that's 2 drops there from the Vikings receiver so far. Yeah, the magic from Jackson Dart, and this isn't me saying replace him with Fernando Mendoza, but I'm just saying so far the magic from Jackson Dart since he's been back with no Dable has not looked the same. It just hasn't. And part of that is because we put him in a complete game manager role. Because Mike Kafka just loves to run the football. And they just tried to run an option. Not Mendoza. Oh my gosh. They just tried to run an option with McCarthy and he just goes down. He lost 2 yards. Brian Burns got him in the backfield. So you got a 3rd and 12 coming up. The Giants pass rushers should be able to pin their ears back. Dexter Lawrence has been having a time so far in the pass rushing situations. They don't have Darisaw out there right now, so we should be able to pin our ears back here on 3rd and 12. All right, here we go. JJ McCarthy in the gun, 3 wide receivers, Hawkinson in the middle. He is, oh my gosh. Justin Jefferson is going to pick up the first down on the screen. He made 3 people miss. He made 3 people miss. One thing about Justin Jefferson, he's been completely neutralized almost by JJ McCarthy this year. But throwing him that screen right there, I mean, he made Andrew Phillips miss. He made Holland miss. He made Belton miss, and then dragged him across the first down marker. And that's 3 tackles. And this is what we mean when, like, just bad execution, bad play. Hand off to Ham here. Ham is going nowhere. And he gets no yards. So you'll have a 2nd and 10 coming up. I don't think the run game is going to be that much of a problem because they don't have anybody in the game now that has any sort of speed. And that's what we struggle against. So I don't think the run game is going to be that much of a problem this game. But we'll see. But I do see the pass game being a problem just because we don't have the guys to cover these guys. 2nd and 9 coming up. JJ McCarthy making a quick throw, and it's intercepted. Wow, Adebo with the interception. Justin Jefferson dropped the ball, and it just landed right into Debo's arms. Just landed right in his arms. That is crazy. And that's actually not Justin Jefferson. That's Naylor. Naylor just dropped the ball and just dropped it right into Debo's hands. So the Giants get the ball back. These teams both don't look too good. But it's just funny because the Giants could have 3 on the board right now. But, you know, they wanted to be aggressive, but they didn't give up any points because of it. So far, let's see what the game stats are looking like. McCarthy, 4 for 8, 45 yards, 1 interception. That wasn't really his fault at all. 1 carry for 8 yards. Jordan Mason, 2 carries for 5 yards. Scott, 2 carries for 4 yards. Aaron Jones, 1 carry for -1 yards. So not much, but Justin Jefferson has 2 catches for 27 yards, so he's making an impact. Vikings are leading in time possession right now, up by about 2 minutes, 7:46 to our 5:33. Total yards, they're up by about 20 yards, 59 to 35. Passing yards, we have -5 total because, you know, they take away because of sacks. And 43 passing yards for the Vikings. So right now they have a slight advantage, but still early. So I really want to see Jackson Dart kind of start to do more of what he was doing earlier on in the season, where he's just kind of taking over the game, making things happen through the air. Because he is a guy that just has not been able to make things happen the same way since he's gotten back. Just hasn't been able to do it. So hopefully we can get out of commercial pretty soon. But that's a nice takeaway there from Paulson Adebo. And they're saying it was ball placement. That's all fine and good. The ball could have been placed better, but at the same time, it's like, catch the ball, man. Like it hit him in both of his hands, but you got to catch it. So here we go. Giants back out in the pistol, 2 wide receivers. And I'm sure they'll run the ball. They're not going to go away from that. And Singletary drags the guy forward for a 4-yard run. The announcer calls it a 3-yard gain. It looked like a 4-yard gain. Let's see what they say. About 1:20 left here. And they're called a 2nd and 7. It looked like a 4-yard rush, but it is what it is there. Maybe his knee was down early. Kafka just likes to milk the clock the whole game. All right, still in the pistol. Another handoff. wide open gap there from Singletary, but he's a little slow to the hole, and we're gonna be here on the 3rd and 2 coming up. They're gonna call it a 3rd and 1. The spots today are just so confusing to me because they're either too far or too short. It just looks off today. So there's Singletary and there's Tracy back there, both at the same time. Or actually, Singletary's lined up at receiver. Singletary gets the handoff, and he's going to fall forward for the first down. And folks, Jackson Dart has only gotten to throw twice today. I mean, it is what it is. We're moving the football, so if we can keep running the ball like this, no need to throw it. But just know that. Just know that. So we just let the clock run down to the end of the first quarter there. The score is 3, and I haven't updated the score. But the score is 3-2. Oh, and here we go with this crazy sound thing. Sometimes these streams, they just go haywire, and it just sounds like a transformer or like a scary monster in your ear. But yeah, end of the first quarter, they're up 3-0. We've both moved the ball pretty much, but the Giants went for it on the Minnesota 15, 16-yard line, got sacked. That's the difference in the game, or else it'd be a tied 3-3 game. But I really think we're going to win this game. And I know a lot of people, of course we want the first pick, but I'm just not rooting for the tank. I'm not rooting for it. Like I'm not against the tank wholeheartedly, but I'm not rooting for it because I still want to get some enjoyment out of it. We got our quarterback. So it is what it is there, but it feels like we're going to win this game. So as we get to the end of this first quarter here, let me check what's going on with the rest. My fantasy leagues are just cooked at this point. I haven't even checked it in 2 weeks because I had a horrible year. All of my key players got hurt. One after the other. Scatterbull at one point saved my season, and then he went out. So at that point, I was cooked. Everybody got hurt, and I'm going to have to try again next year. Bengals tied up with the Dolphins. I think the Bengals officially are eliminated. They're 4-10. Wow. The Bills are tied up with the Browns at 7-7, but they have the ball and they are in the red zone. So I wonder how the Browns scored. Shador Sanders, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Who got the touchdown? Was it Fanning? Yeah, Fanning has been having a good year this year. Fanning has been really good. Buccaneers up 7-3 on the Panthers. Chargers and the Cowboys tied up at 7. Cowboys are in the red zone. The Chiefs 0-0 with the Titans. That's something else. No score against the Titans. Chiefs aren't going to the playoffs though, so that's something that's new. The Jets 3-3 with the Saints. And those are all your 1:00 games so far. So here's the Giants offense, and again, they're playing like Transformers audio in my ear. Oh, that's just great. Okay. They're playing horrible audio, but I can see the stream, so I'll keep it going for now. 15 minutes left in the second. No plays yet. Jackson Dart under center. Hand off to Wan'Dale Robinson on a sweep. Wan'Dale can't make the one guy miss, and we get about 2 yards on first down from that wide receiver sweep. So, yeah, I mean, not much there. Again, Jackson Dart has only thrown it twice. He has been sacked, and then there was a pass interference on another one. So he's really he has no attempts. I'm pretty sure no pass attempts, no official passing attempts. Another handoff to Singletary, or that's Tracy, and Tracy just glides up the middle, and we're going to be about 2 yards. Oh, snap. Just dropped my phone. We're going to be about 2 yards short of a first down there. So, yeah, like I said, I mean, there's one thing to establish the run, but there's another thing when your quarterback isn't in any kind of a rhythm and you're in the second quarter. You get what I'm saying? Like, you want your quarterback to like, of course, we're here in the red zone. It's 3rd and 2, but he has no passing attempts. You want your guy in the rhythm. So Jackson Dart again under center, and he's going to sneak it for a first down, and he picks it up. And I mean, you won't design quarterback runs for him, but you'll run a sneak where he's going head first forward. You get what I'm saying? You're not going to run a draw. You're not going to run an option, which they have run an option. I'm not going to say that, but you're not going to run these quarterback runs, but you're going to sneak him forward for that long 2 yards and, put him head first forward. And yeah, they're calling it out now. No passing attempt so far from Jackson Dart. Pitch to Tyrone Tracy, who splits 2 guys, and he is breaking right up the middle on a toss. And he's about 2 yards short of a first down. So the Giants have been able to establish the run so far. And that's all they've done every single time. And it's like Kafka either, I don't know if it's that he doesn't trust Dart against Flores, or if he just wants to really establish the run, or both. Could be both. And I wish I could get some better audio. So Dart under center. You got another run play, and Tracy, with a beautiful run, just runs through like 3 people and picks up another first down. And Tracy is really establishing the run right now. I mean, the Giants are running all over him. So 2nd and goal coming up, or 1st and goal, and it looks like Singletary's coming in and Tracy's coming out. So Tracy got hit about 3 yards upfield, spun out of that, broke another tackle, and then got tackled across the first down marker. So Singletary in the backfield. It looks like Dart is probably going to hand this off again. Singletary, Dart holds it, sidearm to Theo Johnson, who drops it. And he wasn't going anywhere anyway. So, it is what it is. Dart had to sidearm it and made it a tough catch for Theo, but, still you want to catch it. Still got to catch that. But he wasn't going anywhere because it was a guy coming to place a hit on him as soon as he would have caught that and turned upfield. So 2nd and 10 coming up. And I'm thinking Kafka's going to go back to the run after that last one was a play action. Another handoff. This one is Singletary. We've got some space, and we pick up, they're going to call that 3. So 3rd and 7 coming up. And I wonder if Kafka is going to do the same thing again. If he's going to just come and run the ball, try to get 4 yards and go for it on 4th and goal again. Because that's possible. This guy is like very aggressive and very stubborn. So he may, again, go for it here on 3rd and goal and then go for it again on 4th and goal. And Andrew Thomas is down. Big surprise. All right, so Marcus Bowe is probably going to check in with Andrew Thomas coming out. Don't know what's going on there, if it's a foot or ankle. But Marcus Bowe is going to slide in at left tackle. Already missing John Ryan, I'm pretty sure, at left guard. So a completely new left side, and the Vikings are sending a blitz off that side at the rookie left tackle. 3rd and 7 coming up. Got a man unblocked. Dart making some magic happen. Dart going upfield, and he's going to get hit by 2 linebackers for a loss of a yard. And there's a flag down, and I'm not sure if that'll be pass interference in the secondary, or they're going to also call false start. All right. So it looks like they call a. So I mean, they called a false start, but the play still got to be run. Should have blown it dead, but is what it is. It looks like they're going to. Are they calling special teams out there? Okay. So Ben Sauls is going to line up for this kick. This will be his first kick as a Giant, 27 yarder. And hopefully we can just finally get some sort of stability at the kicking position. Right down the middle. I was about to go off. So he was lined up right there to kick that field goal. He was lined up right in the middle of the field and he almost hooked it left, but it ended up going straight. So far, so good for Ben Sauls, 1-for-1 as his career as a Giants kicker. So hopefully this guy looks good and he can win us. He can win a job. Hopefully he's the guy that's going to be kicking 65 yarders for us. So far, 3-3. Giants have run the ball down the Vikings' throat, but hasn't really amounted to as many points as it should have. And I just got breaking news, or got this about an hour ago, or 2 hours ago, that Marcus Freeman is looking like the front runner for the Giants, head coaching job. So I'm not sure how I feel about that. I think he looks like he's a good leader. But there are some questions. Like how competitive he's had Notre Dame. Are they getting the most out of all of those guys there? And he's also a first-time head coach. Yeah, and with Andrew Thomas back, I'm thinking the Giants will just take a look at Bo. Not to replace Thomas, but more of what he does at the right side, which I think is kind of foolish. I mean, of course you want to see him play, but to say that you're going to make any decision about right tackle based on what Bo does at left tackle, to me is kind of concerning. That's it. But Andrew Thomas has had a great season. He just, it looks like it's a hamstring. So hopefully it's not anything that'll linger. So tie game right now. These teams pretty much look evenly matched. They both of these teams are having some issues on defense, but the teams' offenses aren't good enough right now, at least, to capitalize on how bad both defenses are playing. Because the Giants are running the ball down the Vikings' throat. Like, let's look at the rushing yards so far today. The Giants have 76 rushing yards, and there's 11 minutes left to go in the second quarter. 76 rushing yards. And you have 3 points to show for it. The Giants have 6 first downs. The Vikings only have 4. And again, you have 3 points to show for it. So let me see if I can copy this page so I can get some actual good audio. So they're kicking off here to the Vikings. It'll be Ben Sauls again. I'm pretty sure on his first kick, it went out of bounds. He's lining up still to kick it, and he does. And he's bringing this, and he'll stop at the 24. So the Vikings will start off at the 24-yard line. And J.J. McCarthy will have another opportunity to go against the worst defense in football. So 10:59 left to go in the second quarter. J.J. McCarthy said he trains in the offseason with Jackson Dart. So McCarthy under center, Aaron Jones back in the game. So the run game is back in effect. Aaron Jones up the middle. This time he has 5.5, 6. So J.J. McCarthy, first 6 starts had 5 touchdowns and 6 starts, 6 touchdowns and 6 starts, and now he has 5 in the last 2 weeks. So 9 has come to play the last couple weeks. 2nd and 5 coming up. Play action. McCarthy's got time. And Justin Jefferson made a ridiculous grab on the sideline. Ridiculous catch on the sideline. He put it on the sideline for him, and Justin Jefferson caught that. Let's see if he got the feet down. And they're not showing it. He got both feet down. Wow. Wow. Please don't challenge it, Kafka. Here we go. McCarthy again. And it hits Addison, and the Debo just throws him out of bounds. So 2nd and 4 coming up for the Vikings. 2nd and 3. So JJ McCarthy so far 6 for 10, 68 yards. Every time he throws it he's been throwing it for chunk plays. And if not, an actual chunk play, he's at least getting like 6-7 yards every time he throws it. Aaron Jones still back there. McCarthy under center. And you get a false start from the Vikings. So that 2nd and 3 will turn into a 2nd and 8. Looks like that was Hawkinson. They moved a little bit early. And now they're showing a compilation all the times he's missed Justin Jefferson. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, they're showing him just not throwing it to him when he's open. So 2nd and 8 coming up. So here we go. Giants sending some pressure off the A-gap with Abdul Carter. And nice run defense by Golston. Finally, we see Golston do something in week 16. And he's going to go back a half a yard. McCarthy targeting Justin Jefferson has 7 interceptions, 5.8 yards per attempt, 30 for 61. They say that's the worst in the league for quarterback receiver duo stats. So here the Vikings are in 3rd and a country mile, 3rd and 10. Giants defense got to get after him here. Newman and Abdul Carter lined up over the A-gap. Drew Phillips coming. And let's see. Are they going to call a false start or delay a game? So the Vikings will go back another 5 yards. So this will be a 3rd and 15 coming up. Are the Vikings still in the wild card hunt? At 6 and 8, I guess they could technically go 9 and 8, so they probably are still in it as far as like playoff aspirations. All right, Dexter Lawrence lined up at the 1 here. Brian Burns lined up outside. Abdul Carter. Short throw to Justin Jefferson, and he's going to go down a yard short of the first down. And the referee gave him a tremendously generous spot. He couldn't have given this dude a better spot for the Vikings. He went down about a yard short of where the referee gave him the ball. Now, here on 4th and 1, of course, they're going to go for it. Right around, R40, R45. Handoff to Jones, and he picks it up easily. And that just shows how bad the Giants are. And now you got a flag down. But that just shows how bad the Giants are getting off the field on 3rd and long. They just cannot get off the field on 3rd and long, 2nd and long, 3rd. It doesn't matter. 3rd and 15, you can't get off the field, man. And the ref just threw a flag. I don't know if it's on Dex, if it's on. But the offensive lineman for the Vikings is down and he's in pain. So not sure what happened there and why they threw a flag, but it seemed like it was something that happened after the play. Maybe somebody raked his eye. I don't know what happened. But if it's against us and it's a 15-yard penalty, We're giving them 15 yards when they're already in our territory. Of course, unnecessary roughness on the defense. We're giving them 15 yards. So now they go from converting on a 4th and 1 that they shouldn't have even been in. And now we're going to give them 15 yards and they're already in field goal range. Drew Phillips is literally, I mean, whatever, man. So again, we're giving them free yards, giving them free points. Need the best D tackle in the draft. Um, yeah, I mean, we need a lot of help. We need D tackles, we need corners, we need safeties, we need receivers, we need offensive linemen, specifically some guards. But D tackle is definitely a big need because the how bad it looks when Dex isn't in the game is horrible. So I'm pretty sure the Vikings are going to get this ball now at like the 30-yard line, or maybe even like the 27. And that just happens. Like all of our personal fouls are always in our territory. So like they're already like knocking on the door of being in field goal range, and then we just give them 15. And I would like to see how many of these penalties Drew Phillips has. I would think like what, 3? Got to be 3. Yeah. Yeah, got to be 2 or 3. All right. So still on commercial for now. See if we can get back to the game. But yeah, we got a ton of needs. I mean, it's the way that the way that this team has just played has just been embarrassing. It's just been very embarrassing. And it looks like as soon as we come out of this break, we're gonna have a nice, unfortunate play for the Giants because when it rains, it pours. As my phone falls down again. Here we go. 1st and 10 here for the Vikings. And again, the offense is just gone. The defense finally stopped being a complete, joke. And the offense is just gone. There's no more offense. JJ McCarthy, all the time in the world, hits Jordan Addison, and he's going to be down inside the 10-yard line. All the time in the world, the pass rush has vanished. I mean, if there's any evidence that maybe the Giants need to be paying Kayvon Thibodeau, because since he's been gone, they have not been able to get any rush consistently, not as consistent as he normally was. And that's just a shame. That's a shame because he's not, I mean, he's not that guy to where it should change this much when we have a top 4 pick that's stepping in for him. So 1st-and-goal here, JJ McCarthy looks like he's still under center. Aaron Jones back behind him. 3 tight ends for the Vikings. Hand off to Jones. Jones has got a lot of space, and it closes up. Moisau makes a nice play. Robertson Harris makes a nice play there. So you have a 2nd-and-goal and about 7 yards away from the end zone. So they go hurry up. They're in a bunch formation now. McCarthy stepping up, throws it short, and Bobby Okereke makes a nice play on Justin Jefferson. Nice play in coverage from Okereke. I mean, that's teach tape at linebacker from Okereke in coverage. You don't see that often. So 3rd and goal here for the Vikings, as it's been for both of these teams. A lot of stalling out in the red zone. 3 wide receiver set for the Vikings in the gun. JJ McCarthy, all the time in the world. It gets intercepted again. I don't know who that is. Is that Holland? Holland is gone down the sideline. JJ McCarthy can't get him, and there's a flag down. Somebody got blocked in the back. Somebody got blocked in the back. So this is going to come back, but definitely an interception. And another, and there was an offside. It was an offside. Of course, somebody lined up offsides. Abdul Carter offsides here. Got off the ball a little bit too quick. And he lined up. No, he lined up in the wrong spot. So Abdul Carter lines up in the wrong spot. And because of that, we lose 7 points. So the Vikings here on 3rd and goal. Oh my God. This is nuts, man. And Javon Holland goes and pats Abdul Carter on the back because he's like, man, you just took a pick 6 off of my career total, off of my season total. Probably lost him some incentives. So here we go, 3rd and goal from the 4-yard line. JJ McCarthy back there forever. Abdul Carter chasing him. And because of Abdul Carter, Golston gets him down on the ground. So Abdul Carter makes up for him being offsides there. And at the very least, we forced them to kick this field goal. So the Giants defense, I mean, the secondary especially, did a nice job on that play. They had everybody covered. No one was open. McCarthy had to kind of scramble. Abdul Carter almost got him down, and Golston cleans it up. So 31-yarder. And barely makes it. So the Vikings go up 6-3. Wow. So because he lined up in the neutral zone, we lose 7 points. That's a 10-point swing. So we lose 7 points there and then give up 3 points. Yeah, I mean, that's just unfortunate, but you know, a lot of people want to lose anyway. So Abdul Carter takes 10 points. Basically, like I said, a 10-point swing because we lost 7, we gave up 3. So the Vikings go up by 3 points. The Giants have run the ball all day long today, but have not been able to execute in any of the key situations of the game. So hopefully that can change this drive. Because, like, guys, we've lost, like, what, 11 in a row? 12 in a row? Something like that? Crazy? It's like, I want to win. I want to win, man. I want to win. We got our quarterback. I just want to win. Hopefully Mendoza balls out in the playoffs. If he does, we definitely upgrade this team by trading that pick. I don't think the Giants are going to have the first overall pick, but if they do, yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah. Like, I think the Jets are a good trade partner, and I think the Jets would give us, There are 2 picks this year. I think they give us probably maybe a third this year and a second next year. So 2 first, a second, and a third will move us from 1 to 7. So I'd do that deal. I'd definitely do that deal. And maybe we might even get a first next year too. Because at the end of the day, like that second pick they have, I think I forgot whose pick that is, but it's not going to be a high pick. I think it's the Colts pick. They have the Colts pick, and they have they got the Cowboys pick. So yeah, I mean they got a ton of picks. So we might be able to do something with those. But you never know. Guys fall. Who knows? Still might be an opportunity to trade back if Dante Moore comes out, and who knows who they'll end up rating number 1 once we get to the draft. But it's definitely an opportunity. We play the Raiders next week, so the Raiders have pretty much lost to everybody. So it's possible. If we lose to the Raiders, we earn that number 1 pick. And with the Cowboys getting eliminated from the playoffs, that means that they won't be resting guys. So they'll actually play their starters. So I can't see us winning that game. But as far as the Raiders go, I just don't see how we can lose that game. Like, we've been way too competitive against the better teams to lose to the Raiders. But it's possible. I wouldn't be surprised. But I'm not expecting us to lose to the Raiders. I think if we win games, it'll be this week and the Raiders week. Don't think it'll be the Cowboys. I just try to tell people, like, don't fall in love with the pick that you have right now because you just never know what's going to happen. 1st and 10, Jackson Dart in the pistol. 2 tight ends back there. Play action. Dart stepping up, buying some time. He's throwing left. He's rolling left, and he's going to go out of bounds and gets hit late. That's definitely a late hit. Tried to go out of bounds, and the guy just dove at his ankle. Meanwhile, they're showing Prescott throwing a 38-yard touchdown to George Pickens, who a lot of people thought would be a 1-year rental, but Pickens is definitely coming back because he's their number 1 receiver now. 2nd and 10 coming up. And I mean, if I'm the Cowboys, I just go ahead and pay Pickens and, at least carry Dak for the next 3 or 4 years. He gets Lamb and Pickens, 2 number 1s. 2nd and 10 coming up. 4 wide receivers. Dart in the gun. They're crowding the line, Minnesota is. They got a lot of pre-snap motion. Dart finds a guy wide open, and you got pass interference all day long, and there's no flag. Dart put a little bit too much air under it, allowed the guy to get back over there. But Wan'Dale Robinson is running down the seam. Dart puts the ball on him. Oh no, not pass interference. Oh no, that's pass interference. He hit Wan'Dale Robinson in the helmet before the ball got there, but Dart should have been able to put a better ball there, because if he does, Wan'Dale might score. So the play clock winding down, 3rd and 10 coming up. Got to snap it, and we don't. And they're going to blow that dead. We're going to go back 5 yards. 3rd and 15 coming up. And I guarantee you we won't have a similar result that they did, where we get 14 yards on 3rd and 15. Minnesota refs. Yeah, I just thought about it too. Like, have you all, and this is 30 years, but I'm just talking about like recently as far as the division goes. You realize the Giants the last time we won a division was 2011. 2011 was the last time we won a division, and it was at 9-7. All right. Dart in the gun is going to throw basically a JJ McCarthy interception where Theo Johnson drops the ball and it lands in Byron Murphy Jr.'s hands, and the Vikings have the ball in the red zone because of a drop by Theo. And of course, Of course, Jonathan Vilma is talking about how he threw the ball high. Theo Johnson is 6'6" tall. Just catch the ball. And that doesn't happen. But again, I'm not surprised Jackson Dart is out of rhythm. And Aaron Jones up the middle for 7, immediately gassed the Giants defense. So the Vikings are now basically driving. If the Giants defense can't get off the field here, they're basically driving to go up 13-3. All right. There's McCarthy. And we'll see what the flag is there because they threw one. It looked like holding. So that'll be holding. They'll go back 10 yards. The left tackle filling in for Tristan Darisaw's name is Justin School. So 2nd and 13 coming up. And I'm seeing a discourse on Twitter where people are saying that Dart doesn't look good, and I agree. But also, like, he's completely out of rhythm, and they're throwing another screen pass. And of course, the Giants are always going to give up yards on the screen pass. They give up 7 there on, I think, 3rd and 20 or 2nd and 20. So now you got a 3rd and 6 coming up. Way too many yards. Third and 6. And the Vikings take a timeout. So 2:06 left in the second quarter. Vikings in prime position to basically put this game away if they get in the end zone. And we'll see. They started the game off with the ball, so the Giants will get the ball out of the half. But yeah, I'm not really happy from what I've seen from the offense today. A lot of running, and then your quarterback is placed in a situation where he needs to throw it, and he's not in rhythm because he's been playing for an hour now, and he's only thrown it like 3 or 4 times. Like, he's only thrown it like 3 or 4 times. What's going on, Kelvin? But yeah, I mean, so 3rd and 6 coming up. McCarthy and the gun. 3 wide receivers. Hawkinson in. And looks like Hawkinson has the number 1. McCarthy trying to make something happen. McCarthy into the end zone in 9. 9 gets into the end zone and he's doing the gritty. Yeah, it looks like what we're seeing is basically the Giants repeating history where they got rid of Shermer after Daniel Jones looked good under Shermer. And now Dart doesn't look like the same guy, just like Daniel Jones doesn't look like the same guy. So hopefully, whatever coach comes in here has an actual plan for how he wants to use Jackson Dart, or else we could see a Daniel Jones situation where a guy wants to use Jackson Dart for all the things he's not good at and ruins his career pretty much. You said Freeman. I mean, listen, I Freeman is a guy that, like I said, looks like a good leader, but I mean, I'm still not completely sold on him being the head coach. A lot of guys can give great speeches. A lot of guys are really motivational, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be a great head coach in the NFL. But you never know. Because also hiring a defensive or offensive coordinator doesn't guarantee that you're going to have a good NFL head coach. It's always a risk. Um, even guys that have been head coaches in the NFL before, it's a risk. So here we go. Gunnar Olszewski returned it from the 5 across the 10, across the 20. Deontay Banks has a block for him. Olszewski cutting it back across the 30, and he's going to stop right at the 30. Like, just think about it. Mike Kafka would rather he would rather run the ball on 3rd and 10 and go for it than just throw the ball. Like, he'd rather go for it on 4th after running it on 3rd and long than just throw the ball. So luckily, we held them out of the end zone, and we're still in the game for now. Again, we should be up right now if it wasn't for Abdul Carter offsides penalty. But it is what it is. It is what it is. We got a lot of issues on this team. Whole lot of issues on this team. His team is checked out. Yeah. Like I was saying, any candidate is a risk for sure. It's just, yeah. It's just like after we've hired so many head coaches at this point, by this time, like I'm just kind of like really paranoid by anyone we hire. Like I could like a coach and like do all my homework on that coach and think that they'll be good, but they could still be a failure because if the organization isn't a good organization, which it seems like it's not, and we don't have things running well at that level, then the coach is never going to be able to succeed as well as they can. But again, am I surprised that Jackson Dart is out of rhythm and the ball is placed at the wrong spot when he's barely thrown the ball the entire first half? And no, I'm not surprised. Like I'm not surprised. And why is Nubin allowing himself to be blocked? This is the same guy that's like a heat-seeking missile, and he just like you see what's it, Aaron Jones coming to block you, like blow him up into the quarterback. There's Jackson Dart. Oh my god. This Vikings defense is like this is the recipe for disaster. You have to get your quarterback easy completions. You got to get your quarterback easy completions at the beginning of the game, or else you're going to be in a situation like this where your quarterback is out of rhythm and he's going against Brian Flores in a must pass situation. So now we go back 10 yards because of a holding penalty. It's 1st and 10, and Jackson Dart looks like he's flustered. He looks out of rhythm. He looks flustered. Yeah, Dart looked much better under Dable, which was a lot of people's fears. So there's Wandale in motion, short throw to Wandale, and again, Dart, the ball is a little bit off target, and Wandale has to catch it and falls down. So a 2-yard gain on a play that could have easily been a 6-yard, 7-yard gain. So, what's being done differently under Kafka that was being done before under Dable? That's what I want to know. Shotgun here, 3 wide receivers. Dart has time. He's taking a shot and almost throws an interception. And I don't know where that ball would have gone had it not been touched by that linebacker there. Yeah, Jackson doesn't know what he's looking at. Like, he doesn't know what he's looking at because Brian Dable is confusing him. Brian Flores is confusing him. So 3rd and 18 coming up as Jackson Dart is escaping and he's breaking tackles and he's going to end up getting about 5 yards and we'll punt. So the Vikings will call a timeout with 1:04 left and the Giants will punt. Yeah, Brian Flores versus Mike Kafka is not a good matchup. Because, like, what I'm seeing from Jackson Dart, I still have a lot of hope. This guy is very hard to sack, good at keeping the play alive. But today, again, the ball has been off target. He's been confused because, he's going against probably a top 2 or 3 best defensive coordinator in the league. And he's just not being put in position to succeed. We ran the ball the whole first half. We got probably 90 yards maybe running the first half, and that's amounted to 3 points. So 4th and 14 coming up. Gillen is going to punt this off. Please give us a decent punt, Gillen. You're punting from your own 25. You're not pinned up too deep. Please give us a decent punt. And Vikings punt return is going to go down across the 35. So they're about 20 yards short of being in field goal range with 53 seconds left. 1 timeout. And we're in commercial. God bless the Giants and our fan base. Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess. And it's unfortunate because again, this offense looks so good with Jameis Winston in the game. And it just seems like Mike Kafka isn't equipped to coach a young quarterback. And that's the thing. Dable was not good at coaching guys like Abdul Carter, a ton of these other guys, but he was good at coaching Jackson Dart. But also, Dart is going against Flores. So, it is what it is there. Kind of hard to judge a rookie quarterback there. Used to be an advantage when we had Wink Martindale going against a rookie quarterback. They would see some things that they weren't ready for, but now we don't have anything like that. Like, Spencer Rattler's not a rookie, but knew exactly what to expect going against Shane Bowen. Now at least Charlie Bullen has these guys moving around pre-snap, giving them something to think about. They still stink, but today they're not playing too bad. They lost 6 or 7 games. First and 10, Vikings. 53 seconds left. Starting off at the 36, I'm pretty sure they're going to be. Right at 35. And it should be a 9-6 game. But Kafka, passed on the field goal. All right. Or actually 13-6 game, not 9-6. So 53 seconds left. Vikings are still in the huddle. They've been huddling forever. And also the difference is that the offensive line is falling apart. They're missing the whole left side. Yeah, he's not going to get that offseason. He's not. And I mean, we can't afford to give him that opportunity, sadly. 53 seconds left. Handoff to Aaron Jones. And he's going to get 6 yards. And we got 45 seconds left on the clock. And the Vikings will go hurry up now. 40 seconds, 39, 38, 37. Vikings are letting that clock drip. They're letting that clock drip. And I see Flores looking around like, why are they letting the clock run down? 25 seconds left. Brian Burns! Oh, the ball is out of his hands. Run! Tyler Newman picked up the ball. Brian Burns knocked J.J. McCarthy in the next week. And Tyler Newman picked it up and walked into the end zone. Touchdown, Giants. Oh, my gosh. Oh, man. Let me update this score. Hopefully we make the extra point. I don't have to change this back. That's a game-changing play from Brian Burns. Brian Burns was completely unblocked. J.J. McCarthy never saw him. Burns just kind of hit McCarthy, punched it out, and just took it right back. So Sauls is going to line up for this extra point, and let's not get any crazy stuff going on from Sauls. And it is right down the middle from Sauls. So 13-10 ball game. 13-10 game. A lot of questions going into next year. Yeah. A lot of questions at the coaching level. I'm sure we want to keep our offensive line coach. As far as that, I don't really care about any of those coaches staying. We've heard that, Patterson isn't as good a defensive line coach as people think he is. We heard that from Wink Martindale. Could just be that he doesn't like him, but that's what I heard. Also, yeah, I don't see anybody else being able to stay. I don't see them saying like, oh, well, let's keep Charlie Bulling. Even if we shut teams out the next 2 weeks, I just don't see them saying, let's keep Charlie Bulling. And we could very well bring in a defensive coach. Yeah, 9 is really going crazy, man. And 9 is injured. So McCarthy's injured after that hit. And I mean, he's got 2 interceptions. He's got 2 interceptions that weren't his fault. And one of them came back. And then he has that fumble. Yeah, he got a lot going on there. But what a play there from Brian Burns, man. And Brian Burns, that's his 14th sack of the season. I wanted him to get 16. I was thinking he could be on pace for 16 sacks. And he kind of slowed down a bit, but may be able to get there. May be able to get there this year with 2 games left and this whole second half left coming up. And the Vikings will nail this, and they'll probably nail the half out, which I'm getting from Bleacher Report that they've gone into the half with the knee. So we'll see if J.J. McCarthy comes back. But if not, if we beat JJ McCarthy, I'll be happy that we got a win. But if we lose to this back, if we beat this backup quarterback, I'm gonna kind of be annoyed because like that means like that we were supposed to be tanking, and the backup just messed it up. And that's what big time players do. They put points on the board for their team on defense. Yeah, I mean, right now, I'm gonna kind of be annoyed if we lose to their backup. If we beat their backup quarterback just because he's terrible, I'm gonna be like, man, we could have had a better game and had a had a higher draft position. Man, it is what it is. That's why I try not to get involved and like fall in love with our draft pick position because we could be picking anywhere. We could honestly be picking anywhere between number 1 and number 10 to be honest with how many teams are at 3 wins. Um it could we could be picking anywhere. And really what the big game is, you never know because there's been times where we thought, or teams have thought that they had the number 1 pick secured in like week 15 and then the next week, they win. And then another team that they expected to lose and get the first pick in front of them also wins. So you never know. You never know what could happen. Yeah, Burns is balling. Burns is at 14 sacks this year. I think Burns like he's proving a lot of people right. I was one of the people that said I love the trade. Most people love the trade that we got him for a second round pick, but a lot of people said that they were disappointed with him last year. Brian Burns was playing through injury last year, and he still was really disruptive. And people just kind of like dismissed that because of like the play around other players. Yeah, I mean, because of other players and the defense wasn't as dominant as people wanted, they kind of like said that the Burns signing wasn't that good, but I think it was a good move. I don't like a lot of things that Shane has done, but I think I think one thing he's done that's been very good is that he's gotten good value in most of the trade he's done. Like Brian Burns, good value. Um, Leonard Williams got a second round pick out of that, good value. Kadarius Toney, he got basically Darren Waller back for that, who at that time was looked at as a top tight end, even on the downside. To get him back from a guy that you were going to cut, good value. So he's gotten good value on his trades of the Jackson Dart trade. Only traded a third round pick pretty much and a second. So he's gotten good value on these trades. That's one thing I'll say Shane has done well. Now, as far as the actual drafts, that's where that's where he loses me. That's where he loses me. But the trades, like if we could just keep Shane to just do trades, I think he would be pretty good. Yeah, the Burns trade was really good. Um, and yeah, I mean, listen, if Shane stays here and we do have the number 1 pick, I may not like the picks that he uses this year. So hopefully, we get some picks like next year, the year after, because at the very least, we'd have a GM that can pick better players here next year. Because if Shane just thinks up the place again, he's not going to be here, which is stupid that we have a lame duck GM, just like we had a lame duck coach this year, which is you wonder why Brian Dable couldn't get another defensive coordinator in here because they knew he was on the hot seat. So let's look at the stats for the half. I'm pretty sure Jackson Dart has like one completed pass, one pass for 2 yards. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, Jackson Dart is basically barely done anything with the football. 5 passing attempts the first half. And I mean, listen, because we were running the ball so well, they're going to go back to the run. And it's like you should include Jackson Dart in the run game because that would open everything up. But they're not going to do that. Um, Tracy is at 56 rushing yards. What are we at? Like 80 for the half? 80 rushing yards on the mark for the half. Um, yeah, so we've been running the ball pretty well. It's just, again, we got to get the pass because it's one thing if the run is working, that's fine, that's good. But you cannot abandon the pass because when you end up in these situations where it's a 3rd and 10, or you have a holding call, the drive isn't over because you actually are in rhythm and can throw these passes. But when you're saying we're going to hand the ball off and hand the ball off and hand the ball off, and then all of a sudden, like, go convert a 3rd and 12 for us, go convert a 3rd and 8 for us, it's tough to do. So, like, can we get him some screens? Can we get him some, shuttle screens? Can we get him some short passes? Can we get him a slant? Can we get him some easy throws so he can get into this game in the second half? Because at this point he's not going to throw for 200 yards in the second half. So, can we get him some we got to get him some easy completions or else he's going to continue to be out of rhythm um, when we need him in the fourth quarter. And like that's something that Mike Kafka is not understanding. Like, yeah, you want to establish the run, and I love to establish the run. But we live in a league now where you're not going to, it's not college. You're not going to be able to just run the ball over, and it don't matter who you're playing against. You can't just run it every single play because these guys are going to be out of rhythm. The offensive line is going to be out of rhythm for pass pro. It's just too much. Because that's a perfect situation of, like, Jackson Dart has not thrown the ball at all really today, and then you put him in a situation where he's got a man wide open up the seam and he's off because, listen, like, he probably forgot what it felt like to throw the football, probably forgot what it felt like to throw the ball. And yeah, he still has to make that throw. You're a professional. You got to make the throws when they're there. But at the same time, you still want to get guys rhythm. Like, if Kobe Bryant or LeBron James or Michael Jordan, they don't touch the ball. And this isn't saying that he's that level of player for the Giants. But if whatever great player doesn't touch the ball and it's the third quarter, it's the second quarter, and they haven't taken one shot, what do you expect? Do you think that, like, all of a sudden they're going to catch it and then just make everything? That's just not how it goes. Apparently, Roger Goodell is at the Giants. Hopefully, Roger Goodell is trying to step in because they said Roger Goodell keeps showing up to Giants games. Hopefully, he's going to step in to make us hire somebody that's competent. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, part of it is, like, when you're running it, also, like, you can throw those short things that are extensions of the run. Like, we had that one play action in the red zone that didn't work, but just the same way that he doesn't abandon the run when it goes for -2 yards, you don't abandon the play action or the screen game when it doesn't work once. It's football. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm hoping that we can come out. Of course, continue to run the ball because that's worked. but also get our quarterback involved in the game because Kafka is going to lose jobs. Kafka is going to lose opportunities if we don't get to see that Jackson Dart again. If we don't get to see the Jackson Dart we saw 4 weeks ago or what five, whenever the last time we saw him playing balling out. If we don't see that Jackson Dart again the rest of the season, Kafka is basically like blackballing himself because the way he was looking, they were basically saying like, listen, any offensive coach would love to work with this dude. But Cap is going to have a hard time finding a new job if he can't get Dart to look the same. Need to get rid of Shane now, 100%. 100%. I mean, I I don't get why he's still here. Unlike the coach, the GM is literally a guy who's a lot less hands on as far as like the day to day. Now, of course, he decides things like practice squad stuff, all that kind of stuff. But your GM, people can step in and do GM stuff. It's a lot less hands on, than the head coach stuff. You could be looking for a GM right now. You could honestly be looking for a GM right now because guess what? They don't have to worry about coaching. They might be scouting, but who cares? But you could be looking for a GM right now. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe they're looking for a GM to see if they can find somebody better. But I think he should be gone. Let's see if we can get out of the half, man. I feel like when I was younger, halftime used to be longer than it is now. But this halftime specifically is feeling like a really long time because like nowadays, like especially when I'm not streaming and it's just like another team, I feel like halftime is like I used to be able to go to the store, do something, get back, and the game still wouldn't be back. I feel like now halftime is like quicker than it used to be. So JJ McCarthy is out for the rest of the game. So that's not good. That's not good. So JJ McCarthy isn't coming back, meaning that they're basically forfeiting this game. And if we win this game, it's going to be because the backup quarterback stunk up the place, not because we actually earned the win. So that's kind of upsetting, but it is what it is there. The Giants should get the ball out of this half here. Let's see what they can do. So the Giants are about to really win this because the backup quarterback is in there. So JJ McCarthy's hand is probably broken. The way they touched his hand, it looks like his hand is probably broken. JJ McCarthy. Yeah, he coaches as if he doesn't trust Dart. Like it looks like like, does he not realize that the wind is just throwing me off? How much trash is flowing across the camera, across the screen? Um, and look at the reporter, how her hair is blowing in the wind. Like the wind is blowing hard. So their center's out with a concussion, and their quarterback is out with a hand injury, which, like I said, is probably a broken hand. So Jack and Dart under center here. Hand off to Tracy, and he's going nowhere. So it looks like Flores has 5 guys on the line of scrimmage. Second and 9 coming up, and the Vikings jumped off sides. So the Giants will go forward 5 yards, make this a second and what? Second and 5, second and 4. Brian Flores is 10-1 against rookie quarterbacks as a head coach and defensive coordinator. So he's really good against rookie quarterbacks. And I'm sure Kafka knows that, which is why he's basically saying, I don't trust Jackson Dart, but you gotta let your guy throw the ball. Second and 4 coming up, hand off to Tracy, who's still trying to get out of like outside. I don't understand why. He should have just gotten upfield, but that drew a holding penalty. And the Giants are gonna go back 10 yards. So they go from a second and 5 now to a second and what, 15, second and 14. And managing to hurt themselves. Who's the backup? Max Brosmer, I think. So second and 14 coming up. The Giants are 6 penalties for 39 yards. The Vikings are 5 for 40. So both teams are making stupid mistakes. Second and 14 coming up, and Dart is back there by himself. The Vikings have 6 guys on the line of scrimmage, and they're bringing another guy down. So 7 guys on the line of scrimmage, 3 men deep. Jackson Dart has forever, and he hit Daniel Bellinger, who's fighting forward. And of course, there's another flag down. Of course, there's another flag down. And let's see what the flag is. Taking them forever to call it. Do they even know what it is? All right, so they call a 5-yard penalty there on the Vikings. So the Giants will take the first down there. And I think the pass that got caught by Daniel Bellinger doesn't count. And then my stream just dips out. All right. Here we go. First and 10 here for the Giants. Dart under center. Pitches it to Tracy, and Tracy, with a head full of steam, gets about 3, maybe 2. The Giants are going to have to here we go anyway. Dart and the pistol here. Another handoff to Tracy, who runs into a guy, and he's still fighting forward and gets another 2.5. And again, you keep putting your quarterback in a situation where he's only throwing on third down. All right, the Vikings are crowding the line again here on 3rd and 4. Darting the gun. It looks like the Vikings are sending a blitz. They got 7 guys at the line of scrimmage, and they force a false start. I mean, again, you cannot get through the game, get through a drive without hurting yourself. The Giants. Runyon out, Andrew Thomas out, entire left side of the offensive line is out, and it's shown this game. So 3rd and 9 coming up. Was a 3rd and 4, but now at 3rd and 9, the Vikings are sending a blitz. Jackson Dart throwing a screen. Tyrone Tracy makes a guy miss, and he gets leveled 4 yards short of the first down. So the Giants got a 4th down coming up, and I'm sure they're going to punt. So 4th and 5, the Giants are going to punt, and Jackson Dart completes his second pass that counts today. So he's got 2 passes for like 8 yards or 9 yards and an interception. And Gillen with a terrible, terrible punt again. And they'll start at the 23. And there's a flag down. The referees are very involved in this game. All right. So listen, I was thinking that the Giants would just be able to easily win this game, but with the way that this defense is playing against the Giants offense, they might be able to keep this game. Said Dart is trash. Hey, we'll see. I mean, you take away the guy that drafted him. I mean, listen, we saw that happen with Daniel Jones. We'll see how it plays out, but I think he has a lot of tools. It's just about if we can get consistency from him, consistency from the coaching staff. But yeah, it is what it is there. The guy won't let him throw the ball. But it's like we're literally just, I mean, every week it's just the same thing. It's like these penalties are just killer. The calls are mistimed. The decisions are bad. And all the most crucial situations, the players can't execute in the most crucial situations. Literally, since Dable has stepped out of the building, Jackson Dart has not been the same guy. Not Theo Johnson. Jameis Winston stepped in, looked great. Jameis Winston looked amazing with Mike Kafka, but take Jameis Winston out, and Dart is not the same pocket passer that Jameis Winston is. A vet who's put up 30 touchdowns before and 30 interceptions and 5,000 yards. 30 interceptions, sure, but 5,000 yards in a season. He obviously is a guy that can work through his progressions and make throws from the pocket. And meanwhile, Deontay Banks has checked in the game with Cordell Flott out. So still on commercial break here. But yeah, I mean, it's just kind of frustrating because where do you even start to fix this team? All right, 1st and 2, 1st and 10 here. All right, Aaron Jones and Deontay Banks. First play in the game, Deontay Banks gives up the edge on the run play. First play of the game. Like he tries to set the edge and then just stops his feet. This guy still doesn't understand. This guy still doesn't understand how to set the edge at cornerback. So 1st and 10 here for the Vikings. Under center. Brosmer handing it off again. Aaron Jones, a lot of space again, and he gets 6. Looks like 5 or 6 there on 1st down. And they'll call it 6. Second and 4 coming up. Vikings at 152 total yards. Giants at 87. Neither offense that impressive today. Here we go. 13-10 game. Another handoff to Aaron Jones, who picks up the 1st down. And they're waving people over like somebody's hurt. Let's see. And it looks like it's Jordan Addison that's going to limp off the field. So many guys getting hurt this game. All right, so 1st and 10 here coming up for the Vikings. Fake pitch from Brosmer. Going to hit Hawkinson there for 2.5, 3 yards. So it was a fake pitch from Brosmer, reverse field, and hit Hawkinson on the flat. So 2nd and 8, I think Wentz got hurt too. So he was their backup quarterback earlier. So Brosmer's really the 3rd guy. 2nd and 8 coming up. And Charlie Bullen, his goal here on 2nd and 8 should be able to hold them, to 3rd and long. And let's see if he does it aggressively or conservatively. He's crowding the line. He's got 5 people on the line of scrimmage. You got a handoff there from Aaron Jones, who's got way too much space, and they're going to make this a 3rd and 3 or 4 coming up. And of course, they're showing the highlights from the Giants defense today, going against a bad offense, but nonetheless, still looking like one of their better games because they've gone against plenty bad offenses and looked horrible. And they don't look great today, but they look much better than what I've seen recently. Brosmer on 3rd and 3. Brosmer has a guy wide open and airmails it, but still gets it caught on the sideline for a 1st down. If he had just put the ball on the guy's body, he would have caught that and probably turned inside and ran. So here we go. Giants have 0 passing yards. Vikings have 91. Another handoff to Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones makes like 4 people miss, and Deontay Banks drives him into the ground. That was one of the better tackles I've seen from Deontay Banks this rookie season, and that's going to come back. That'll go back 10 yards. And these referees are really involved today in this game. Bucks go up 17-13 on the Panthers. They're both tied up at 7-7. How did the Bucks lose all those games to end up in 7-7 situation? Bengals up 31-14 on the Dolphins. Wow. Here we go. 1st and 20. Brosmer, quick throw to Jefferson. And Jefferson picks up about 8.5, 9 yards. So we'll have a 2nd and 11 coming up probably. I saw it a 2nd and 12. Cowboys trailing the Chargers 24-17. Meanwhile, how does Dart have 6 yards passing? Is because he's barely gotten to throw the ball. Mike Kafka is obsessed with the run, and the few times he's thrown the ball have been in 3rd and long situations. Here we go. Brosmer was under pressure there, threw it short to the tight end, and he's going to pick up. Let's see, on 3rd and 12, on 2nd and 12, probably picks up 7, and they'll call that a 3rd and 6 coming up. So Brosmer in one drive already has more yards than Jackson Dart the whole game. This will make you think this is the beginning of the game. They're showing Brosmer 4 for 4, 22 yards, and Dart 1 for 5 for 1 for 6 for 6 yards, or 2 for 6 for 6 yards. 3rd and 6 coming up. Justin Jefferson in motion. Brosmer taking a shot, and he just missed the guy. Just missed him. Had a guy open downfield and just missed him. Naylor just overthrew him to the outside. And let's see if they're in field goal range or not. I can't tell. And that's Josh McCown, I guess, as the quarterback coach, maybe, or offensive coordinator for the Vikings. And looks like, okay, the Vikings are actually going to punt here from the 45. Surprised they're not going to try a 70-yarder against the Giants because people usually make those. Gunnar Olszewski feels that, gets upfield, and the Giants will get the ball around the 17. And there's a flag, of course. Of course there's a flag. And it's against the Vikings. I mean, the referees, again, are really just intruding. They're really intruding on this game. Illegal formation from the Vikings. So they're going to add 5 yards to the end of our return. So we'll start off at the 22. And of course, we're going to have to take a TV timeout now. What's going on, Greeny? Burns is horrible against the run. I don't think so. Not on a down and down out basis. He's had some bad run reps from being overly aggressive, but I don't think he's horrible against the run. I don't think he's dominant, but I think he's okay. I think he's good against the run. And I think he's really good. He's dominant, on those backside runs, but I don't think he's bad. This might be the antidote is that the Giants need to be sold because it's been a mess. It's been a mess and they can't get it right. Like we're going on, Coughlin, after Coughlin, McAdoo. So McAdoo, and including Coughlin those last couple of years because of the situation you put him in as an organization, couldn't win. So Coughlin couldn't win. McAdoo couldn't win. Shermer couldn't win. Spags stepped in for Shermer. He couldn't win. You added Joe Judge. He couldn't win. Then you add Dable. He can't win. And now Mike Kafka can't win. So that's 7 head coaches. If you count the interim guys, 7 head coaches, all of them couldn't win. None of them could win here. Are all of these coaches that were thought of as good enough coaches to become head coaches in the league, are all of these bad coaches? Or are you just having some big issues as far as an organization? And either way you are, because even if they are all bad coaches, you hired all those bad coaches. Man, I hate the Eagles so much. I just hate to see them shine. Like, I just hate the Eagles. Like I don't want to see the Bills and the Eagles play. I don't. I just don't want to see Eagles do anything. We just got to hire a decent GM. It's not that hard. It seems like it is that hard. That's the thing. All right, 13-10 game right now. Giants getting the ball back, 1st and 10. Jackson Dart more sacks taken with 3 than completions with 2. So in the pistol, Vikings are crowding the line, and of course we're going to hand this off again. Singletary cutting back, Singletary up the field and picking up 9 yards on 1st down. And it's like you can't don't go away from the run if it's working. Yes, but you know, it is what it is. It's a nuanced approach. The run works, so don't abandon it, but also get your quarterback some easy completions so he can make the ones that he needs to make at the end of the game. They called in a 2nd and 2. Another handoff. Singletary picks up the 1st down on 2nd and 2. So 1st and 10 here. The Giants with a fresh set of downs. 2 straight runs. Where they pick up 13 yards on those runs combined. So here we go. 1st and 10 at the 37, and Singletary runs into a wall and barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. They just don't have great run defenders on the edge to force 3rd and long. Tibbs is probably the best. Yeah. Shane thought that this was building a roster like a Madden video game would just pass. I agree. But I don't think Burns is bad. I think the bigger problem is that we can't hold up on the line. And we also don't have linebackers that can fill in those gaps. So I don't think Burns is horrible. And obviously, Abdul Carter has to be better against the run. So short throw to Singletary. And we're going to lose a yard and a half there. So Jackson Dart just continues to go backwards in the pass game. So here they go. Jackson Dart, pretty much nobody open, checks it down to the running back and loses a yard. So 3rd and 11 coming up. Jackson Dart in another must-pass situation. Vikings crowding the line of scrimmage again. And he has been confused all day long. And it looks like another false start. Oh my gosh. So the Giants are going to go back even further. Yeah, the roster's just trash all year round. Oh my gosh. So 3rd and 16 coming up after being in a 3rd and long already. We're going to go back 5 yards. Third and 16. Yeah, if the Giants are going to win this game, it's going to have to be on defense. Jackson Dart fires it in there, and he's going to be a yard and a half short of a 1st down around midfield. And we'll see if Kafka decides to go for it. Meanwhile, Dart's chain came off, so he threw that to the sideline. So here we go, 4th and 2 coming up. Dart in the gun. Dart stepping up. Dart finds Hodgins for a 1st down, or Slayton actually for a 1st down. That's Hodgins' old number. Sometimes I get them confused because that's Hodgins' old number. So Slayton Ware 18 catches the first down. And I mean, talk about a guy that you just forget exists. So first down there, and you know Kafka's going right back to the run here. So under center, Slayton in motion. Another handoff here to Singletary, and Singletary's going to bowl forward, pick up 4. 2nd and 6 coming up. They're talking about Dart losing his chain. Here we go. 2nd and 6 coming up. Dart under center. 3 tight ends again. Wandale, the lone wide receiver. Play action. Dart stepping up. Dart dropped the ball, it looked like, and kept it. So bobbled the ball and still kept it. So was trying to take a deep shot, probably to Wandale, and just didn't have anything there. So let's see what that look like downfield. Hopefully they show that. Technically, that should have been roughing the passer or illegal touching or something like that because he got hit in the helmet, but it is what it is. And now they got a guy on the ground. JMS is on the ground. He's down on one knee. So they're about to lose their left tackle, left guard, and center all at once. Dart hasn't made many decisions today. He's only thrown the ball 8 times now. So he's got an interception. It was after he hit Theo Johnson in the hands, and Theo just dropped it and got intercepted. But other than that, hasn't got many opportunities, and he's been under a ton of pressure. And Kafka literally did not. He had no attempts throwing the entire first quarter, so he's been out of rhythm because he's barely thrown. And I mean, and Brian Flores is also just great at what he does, at being confusing. So, uh, so if JMS has to leave the game, shout out to Bobby Skinner over on Giants Nation. He just said if JMS can't play and Stenny comes in or Slotman comes in at center, the Giants will have no more offensive linemen available. So that would mean that the Giants, that would mean that the Giants would have to, they would have to put a tight end at one of the tackle spots if somebody gets hurt, or a defensive lineman or somebody at one of the tackle spots if someone else goes out. Let's see. Chambliss. I mean, listen, I'm not necessarily looking to replace Jackson Dart. I know a lot of people are really extreme, but I'm not gonna replace Jackson Dart. I'm not ready for that yet. Appreciate that. Yeah, let's get it up. Let's get it up to 25 likes. Let people know I'm streaming. That'll push the stream out. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people are saying like, "Oh, let's get Mendoza, let's get this person, let's get that person." I'm like, I mean, come on, man. Like, you draft a guy, even if he doesn't look good the first year, you don't just abandon him. That never, like, you never even do that. And then the guy literally has, as we speak right now, Jackson Dart has 20 touchdowns. And, because of a drop pass, he has 5 interceptions, 20 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. and you're just ready to abandon him because of how he's looked the past couple games. 3rd and 12 coming up for Jackson Dart. 5-4-3. Dart has a little time. He's moving around a bit, and he takes the sack, and he's got another penalty against him. The Vikings do. Because of contact to the helmet. But yeah, Dart is looking at uh like a mess at the line of scrimmage. Like he does for a rookie quarterback going against Brian Flores, it's impossible. It's impossible for a rookie quarterback to succeed. There's a reason that he's 10-1. And notice that Jackson Dart is in the pocket, right? Notice he's in the pocket and he's getting hit in the head. It's funny how people can't understand that happens in the pocket. 1st and 10 coming up. Dart in the pistol. They're sending another blitz, and Singletary is getting 4. I don't know why they give these running backs entire drives. You can rotate the running backs in the drive. Like you can pull Singletary off the field and put Tracy in. You can pull Tracy off and put Singletary in. That's the point of having a running back by committee. So 2nd down coming up. Giants in field goal range, so in position to tie the game already. Another handoff to Singletary. Singletary pushing the pile. Still, Singletary picking up the 1st down. Nice run. Picking up 7.5 right there. Yeah, the Giants are probably going to win this game because the Vikings can't stop the run in any way. All right, 1st and 10 here. Pitch to Singletary. He's got a lot of space. He's going to spin off, and they're going to mark him a yard short of where he actually landed, which they've been doing all day long. And they're going to give him 3 instead of 4. Or 4 instead of 5. 2nd and 6 coming up. Another handoff to Singletary, who cuts it outside and then trips. And then the Giants are going to go back 10 yards again because of another hold. I mean, like, what are we doing, man? Like, how many penalties are we going to get that are going to kill these drives? Holding calls are so costly. Like, they're so costly because you go back literally 10 yards. I don't think they're that far from being good. I don't. I think you need pieces at key spots and you need good coaching. If you look at how this team looked with Dable the majority of the year, they blew a bunch of leads in the 4th quarter. So I don't think that they're that far away. Now, you know, they need oh my God, we got a short throw to Tyrone Tracy. And that gets 4. But yeah, I think if this team had better coaching this year, we would be, somewhere close to where the Vikings are right now, 6-8. So not ideal, but an average team in the league pretty much. Who were scoring for the majority of the year, we were scoring 25, 26 points per game. All we need is our defense not to be historically bad against the run. We're giving up 5.6 yards per carry coming to this game. So my stream just froze again, but I'm guessing we're not going to convert on this 3rd and long, and we'll kick a field goal. Yeah, and that's what happens. They just stopped us on 4th down or stopped us on 3rd down, and will likely bring out Ben Saul to kick this field goal. And it looks like we made the field goal. And yeah, like I said, my stream is frozen. But in the meantime, the Giants just tied up the game at 13. Ben Sauls hasn't missed anything so far. Let's see what we got here. Says you hope they lose. It's possible. It's possible. Giants love to make yeah. Yeah, it's the holding calls, it's the false starts. Every drive, every single drive, we've had a holding call or a false start penalty. And Ben Saul so far is a lot better than what we've had at kicker for the majority of the season. So 39 yarder is good for him. Not that great. Yeah, not that great against the pass either. But that kind of fluctuates year to year. We've been bad against the run for years. So, if we just get uh you say we got a bunch of edge rushers. I think we also have bad corners in the run game, but I think the biggest problem is the linebackers and the defensive tackle. Because yeah, they do get us to the edge a lot, but also our corners are so bad in the run game that they don't set the edge. Like they don't even come close to setting the edge for us. And that is like an underrated part of the run game that we just have been bad at for the last couple of years is that they cannot set the edge even a little at corner. But the linebackers, they can't get sideline to sideline. They get stuck on like both linebackers get stuck on one side of the field on a routine basis. They get just stuck over on one side of the field because they're so slow. So I think we need some help at linebacker. I think we need some help at safety. And also it's the tackling. The tackling from top to bottom in the run game is bad. And I'm trying to figure out what this stream is. This stream is supposed to be showing me the Giants game, and they're trying to show me the Bengals and Dolphins. Yeah, yeah, they're bad. They're bad. Yeah. But that's why I want a guy like Caleb Downs is because he's a short tackler. He's a guy that can diagnose things before they happen. We need that. We need help. We need help. If we could get um if we could get Caleb Downs besides Javon Holland, I feel like at that point we actually have two good safeties. If Holland is a good safety, not a great safety at this point, but he'd be beside a guy who could be a great safety. And I think if you put Holland beside a guy who's a great safety at that point, you might have something special. You might make him better. But I think the biggest problem in the run game, to be honest, has been the problem that we've had at linebacker, which is these guys literally, if they take the wrong step, they're completely out of the play. Then you got Newman stepping down to make a tackle, and he's missing a tackle. The corners can't set the edge. And yeah, sometimes Abdul Carter does get pinned down and he can't get to the edge. And sometimes it happens with Brian Burns, but I would say Burns is better against the run than people think he is. And this stream just keeps going out. Like, I know there's not that many people that want to watch this Giants and Vikings game. Like, come on now. Like, I just know for a fact there's not like you're not going to tell me you're up to capacity because there's this many people that want to watch the Giants and Vikings game. Like, I just don't believe that. And they're showing me the Cowboys and Chargers game. Like, what's going on? And of course, they're showing it to me in crisp HD too. So we're still on 7. Yeah, Banks is just, I don't know what's going on with Banks. And it looks like we have the ball still. So it looks like we're still on commercial break. So that's good. So I haven't missed anything. All right. see if I can actually get to one of these things so they can actually work. All right. So it looks like Ben Sauls is going to kick off here. And hopefully this stream stays to work. So 13-13 ball game. Ben Sauls is lining up to kick this off. The winds in the Meadowlands has looked crazy today. And I was kind of like impressed on that last kick because the wind was so crazy that he kicked that off like super to the left. And it ended up like bouncing back to the right at the last second. Like, so that shows he's really aware of the wind. And there's a fight between the Giants and the Vikings on the sideline. And now there's another flag after there was an initial flag. So it's probably going to offset when we had a chance to have them go back 15 yards. I mean, the Giants, like, I don't even want to know what the penalty numbers are for this year. It's been horrible. I mean, these referees just love the camera, don't they? They just love the camera. I can't see the Vikings scoring with Brosmer in at quarterback unless they just get a long run or a wide open guy, which is possible. His defense is bad, but we'll see. Like the last win we got was the Eagles game. That's crazy. So they called holding on both teams. Let's see, the refs are still talking. It's like if it's taking you that long, at this point you're manufacturing a call. Like what's going on? Like we're sitting here, they're holding against us, and we get into a fight on the sideline and get 15 yards. So they offset. So we lose 10 yards because we can't stay disciplined. So Elijah Chapman and Roy Robertson Harris are in the game. So the Vikings are 100% running the ball up the middle. In the gun, Giants got a similar approach to Brian Flores. And that's a nice tackle there from looks like that was Okereke. But yeah, they the Giants are giving a similar look that Brian Flores has been given. Brian has been given Jackson Dart most of the game. Trading a pick for Burns instead of just drafting a player and using that money to sign another player was stupid. I think you would take Brian Burns. I mean, I would, but you know, hey, here we go. Brosmer under pressure, and Abdul Carter with the sack. 2 weeks, 2 sacks for Abdul Carter. Or 3 weeks, 3 sacks for Abdul Carter. Him one-on-one against the backup center, easy money. And Brian Burns is hurt. And he's back up. Okay, let's see. Yeah, didn't miss anything there. But yeah, Abdul Carter, 3 weeks, 3 sacks. So one thing about Kafka is that he's actually disciplining these guys and actually getting results out of Abdul Carter because Brian Dable was letting him do whatever he wanted to do. Man, I'm struggling here. I keep wanting to say Brian Dable, Brian Burns, Brian Flores. All every time I say Brian, I think of one of these 3 Brians. So JJ McCarthy, even after missing this entire second half, is probably going to be the leading passer today. Jackson Dart is 7 for 11 for 33 yards. Literally one of his runs. One of his runs was more powerful. I mean, one of his runs were more effective last week than his entire passing game today. He had like a 38-yard run last week. Trading a pick for Burn. Yeah, I already read that. So hopefully, do they have a fourth down coming up or a third down? Oh, I'm way behind, man. I'm way behind. Whatever. So the last thing I saw was the sack and then the TV timeout, and now it looks like on a 3rd and 17 after the sack, we gave a 20-yard run, 21-yard catch, which isn't surprising. And then, wow. So yeah, they're just falling apart there. So let's see if I can find another stream in the meantime. Let's see if I can find. All right. Looks like I found another stream for now. Yeah, just bad defense, bad penalties. That's been the biggest problem with this team is that people are undisciplined in key situations of the game. 1st and 10 coming up inside the 50. Play action, Brosmer. Brosmer stepping up and almost goes down by Abdul Carter, but gets rid of it and it's incomplete. So the Vikings will have a 2nd and 10. Brosmer did a good job getting rid of that ball because Abdul Carter all but had him sacked right there. And another penalty there. It's like, come on now. Here we go. 2nd and 10 coming up, and I'm about to see. I just saw the penalty pop up on Bleacher Report, but here we go. Dexter Lawrence said that there was movement on the Viking side, but they're going to say it was on Dexter Lawrence. So let's see what the actual call is. And you heard Dexter Lawrence basically yelling like, "Come on, he moved," but they're not showing that to see if they actually moved or not. They're showing Justin Jefferson highlights. And they're not showing the play. They're showing Justin Jefferson highlights when we just had an encroachment, and we can just look back to see if it was actually encroachment or if somebody moved, but we won't see that. 2nd and 5 coming up. Brosmer hand off to Jones, who makes Newbin miss. And again, that's my problem is that these linebackers and safeties do not make tackles when they fill in. They don't make tackles because he should have been tackled at the line of scrimmage, but Newbin misses the tackle. And now you got a 3rd and 2 coming up. A 3rd and 1 actually coming up for Aaron Jones. And they're probably just going to hand this off and pick up the 1st down. So here we go. 8:02 left in the 4th. Vikings are, where are they on the field? I would say they're in field goal range. And the Vikings just got a fresh play clock. I don't know what that was about. So here at the 36, got a man in motion, pitch play, to Aaron Jones. And again, because of the slow linebacker play, inability to come down and hit somebody because they're just too slow, Aaron Jones picks up the first down easy. And that was Deontay Banks that couldn't set the edge. Well, what a mess, man. Deontay Banks can't set the edge. Okereke can't get down there quick enough, and they pick up an easy first down on the toss. Aaron Jones makes another guy miss and ends up picking up 2. They're going to give him 3, actually. Both teams are just running the ball. This was, I mean, I'm telling you, man, this was a very boring game today. I mean, we may get some stuff at the end of the game that might make it more exciting, but overall, this has been a boring game. Basically, no quarterback play at all handoffs, and no big runs, just basically 7-yard runs. The biggest run we had was Tyrone Tracy on the first run we had, but other than that, nothing big. Dexter Lawrence in the backfield on the screen almost gets him on the ground. And again, in the screen game, the Giants defense can't tackle. That's been the biggest problem. Nobody can tackle in the open field. Dexter Lawrence gets basically unblocked, and they're setting up the screen. And Deontay Banks does a horrible job trying to make this tackle, and everybody else just misses. Like, Deontay Banks is bad. I don't understand it, man. Like, yes, he was not a dominant cornerback in his first game, in his first season, but he was not this player. He was never this bad until his second season. He's just been getting worse and worse. And I just can't buy it. Like, oh, he just doesn't care, and that's why. I just don't see it. So tied game 13-13. The Vikings are at the New York Giants 27 right now, or at the New York Giants 19, actually. They got a fresh set of downs. And we'll see if they can get in the end zone. Yeah, we're here still on commercials. But like I said, overall, this has been a pretty boring game today. There's been a ton of runs, especially since McCarthy's left the game. Brosmer is 6 for 8 for 51 yards. Jackson Dart is 7 for 11 for 33 yards. We have had, let's see, 11 carries from Singletary, 13 from Tracy. Tracy's averaging 4.8. Singletary's averaging 4.3. And from the Vikings, you got 15 carries, 66 yards from Aaron Jones. And then 2 carries from Ham, 2 carries from Mason, 2 carries from Scott. So a lot of running today. Justin Jefferson is somehow creeping up to a 100-yard game. He's at 8 targets, 6 catches, 85 yards. So, if they throw this in on his next play to Justin Jefferson, he's at 100 yards and a touchdown on 9 targets, 7 catches. So for those who want the Giants to lose, it seems like they might be able to make that happen for you. Because, again, this offense looks horrible. At least in the past game, it looked horrible. What do I think about Spags? A lot of people don't like that idea, but I'm open to that idea. Because I think Spags can get the most out of our defensive personnel, which we've spent the most money in football on our defense, or at least top 3 by now. But I think he can get the most out of our defense. And I like the guy. I think he's a good leader. And I think one big selling point was that, okay, he knows Kafka, so he'd be able to keep Kafka and Dart would be able to keep succeeding. But It looks like Kafka doesn't work that well with Dart, so that concerns me. Are we going to keep Kafka? Is he going to find an Andy Reid tree guy? Because, like, let's not forget, not only has he worked with Andy Reid in Kansas City, he also worked with them in Philadelphia. So if he's going to go after an offense, it'll probably be an Andy Reid style offense, which isn't bad, but you got to find the right guy. 1st and 10 here for the Vikings. Another handoff to Aaron Jones, and he's going to pick up 2.5. But I would not be against Spags as the head coach. I just would want to see who he brought in offense and what the pipeline looks like. Like, does he have a good quarterback coach? Does he that could step up and be the offensive coordinator? I would definitely want to see that. Same thing for all the defensive guys. 2nd and 8. Another handoff. Aaron Jones right up the middle, picking up 5 now. Man, this is, like I said, this is boring football. 3rd and 3 coming up. These teams are just running the air out of the ball. 4:48, and we got a guy on the ground, and it looks like Golston or Nubin on the ground. And I don't know what is going on with Nubin, but he's on the ground. So this is a tweet that I just have seen come in from Dan Schneider, beat reporter for the Giants. And he writes for well, he's not a beat reporter. I'm tripping. Dan Snyder from Big Blue Banter. I was thinking of another reporter, but Dan Snyder from Big Blue Banter said he was told that there's a report suggesting that the Giants beating the Vikings could be on a deciding factor if Joe Shane keeps his job or not. So if the Giants hold on and beat this backup quarterback right now, after their quarterback that was looking like a slam dunk franchise quarterback can't even throw for 50 yards today. If he does that, if they go out and win today against Max Brosmer, that could be the game that keeps Joe Shane at general manager. So, this is the type of organization that we root for. This is the type of organization that we support. Like, this is the type of organization that we support. So, uh, hoping that that's not true and they're not that dumb, but it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me because I've seen these types of things before. And it seems like they're just looking for any reason to keep Joe Shane. It just seems like they're looking for any reason that they can come up with to keep Joe Shane. So here on the 3rd and 3, Giants and Vikings tied up at 13. They're showing Vilma and Kenny Albert in the studio. So 3rd and 3 here for the Vikings. So here we go. Taking forever to set this up. 4:34 left in the game. 13-13 ball game. Brosmer. Hawkinson in motion. 3 wide receivers. Brosmer in the gun. Brosmer throwing it short. And Okereke tackles Aaron Jones and stops him short of the first down. So this will be a 4th and 2 if they want to go for it. But I doubt that. They'll probably kick the field goal. I think a touchdown would have ended this game, but a field goal only extends it. This may even go in overtime. They're going for it with Brosmer. Okay, they're kicking the field goal. because I'm like, there's no way that he's gonna go for this here in this situation with Max Brosmer as his quarterback. And the Vikings kicker puts it right down the middle. So 16-13 game. The Vikings take the lead back, and 4:15 left in the game. Giants need to score for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they got to get points on the board. Again, if the Vikings would have scored a touchdown, I wouldn't have felt very good about that, about our chances. But the fact that we can still run the ball, that I believe we can probably get in the field goal range. It's about if our kicker can make the field goal. He's done good so far, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see if I hope we don't go into overtime because this game has been so boring. But it's possible. And like I said, I have such mixed feelings about this because if this is the game that's going to keep Joe Shane here as the GM, I'm not excited about that. I'm not excited about that, and I would rather have a higher pick with no Joe Shane here. But oh man, at the same time, I want to win because, like, again, I feel like we have our franchise quarterback. I don't think that we're taking, even if we didn't, I don't feel like we're taking a quarterback um, anyway this year. But I think we have our franchise guy, and on top of that, like I'm sick of rooting for a team to lose at the end of the season, man. Like we got our franchise quarterback. I'm not tanking so we can trade out and get picks. Because as we've seen, we can have multiple picks in the first round and they all stink. Just think of think of Daniel Jones. I guess Dexter Lawrence was good. Daniel Jones was okay. Um, but DeAndre Baker wasn't that good. Kadarius Toney wasn't that good. I mean, there's a lot of picks that you can make where it's like it doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter how many picks you got. So I just want to just try to win some of these games. But again, if Joe Shane is staying here, then that kind of throws a wrench into it. JJ McCarthy has a broken hand. It looks like he broke his hand. I think he fell on his hand, tried to brace his fall, and something broke. And I think that's why he fumbled the ball. Is that as soon as Burns touched that, his grip was so weak on the ball he couldn't hold on to it. So Jackson Dart has 20 touchdowns, and JJ McCarthy has 14. Why are they not showing? Why are they not showing Daniel Jones's? Because I know he had 24 touchdowns going into at the end of the season, so he had to have at least 20 going into. I don't know. I feel like he had to have 20 going into week 16. Or maybe I'm crazy. So the Vikings are lining up to kick this off here. 4 minutes, 15 seconds left to go. I'm sure Mike Kafka wants to run the air out of the ball. 2 timeouts left for the Giants. I'm sure he just wants to run the air out of the ball and score a touchdown and walk out with the win. But we'll see if they can do that. All right. Deontay Banks fills it inside the 5, across the 20, across the 30, across the 34, and he's right real close to the 35. So we'll start the 34 and a half. Now they're showing Mike Kafka in the preseason. So today the Vikings have 105 rushing yards to our 126. And let's see. Dart in the pistol. Hand off to Tracy, and Tracy's going to lose a yard. Or maybe they're going to actually give him a half a yard. It looked like he lost it, but kind of squeezed out a little bit to get a half a yard. Yeah, that's what happens when you manage the game in a certain way as far as your quarterback. You get if your quarterback is out of rhythm going against Brian Flores and he's a rookie, there's no way he's going to succeed here. So Dart back here, empty set. I'm expecting probably somebody to come into the backfield and him hand it off. Well, we'll see. Empty set here from Dart. He's got time. He let it loose and Slayton drops the ball. Dart hits Slayton across the middle of the field on a beautiful ball, and he just drops the ball. Like the dude, man, I just don't get this guy. Why he can't catch the ball? Nobody's shocked that he dropped the ball. Vilma keeps on saying that he's shocked when Slayton drops the pad. Snap the ball. Jackson Dart letting it go again, and it got tipped, and there's a flag. So it looked like Dart's hand got hit when he threw it, and the Vikings will get flagged for pass interference. So Byron Murphy going 1-on-1 with Wandale Robinson. Looks like he made contact a little bit too far downfield. And Dart was calling for that flag all day, and he got it. So here we go. 1st and 10 coming up now for the Giants, and they'll probably go back to the run game here with 3:20 left. And Mike Kafka at this point is kind of letting his quarterback throw the ball more. So he's under center, right inside the 40, the Giants 40. Pitch to Tracy, who's tried to cut it back there and picked up 5. So 3:10 left to go in the game. So 2nd and 5 left. 2nd and 5 to go. 2:56 in the game left. Still under center. 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers. Another handoff to Tracy. Tracy goes upfield, and he's going to get 1.5 yards at most. So 3rd and 3 coming up. And at this point, man, 3rd and 3, end of the game, man, this is when you want to get your quarterback's legs involved. Give him some opportunity, spread it out, so that way he has that option to run the ball. 3rd and short is the perfect time for the quarterback to run the ball, and not a design run, a scramble. So here we go. 3 wide receivers. Shotgun situation here. Dart has decent protection, and the ball gets tipped. So crucial situation coming up as the Giants will have a 4th and 3, and this is for the game. So Dart had a guy, but the ball got tipped. And if Slayton catches the ball, we're already in field goal range. If he catches that ball and runs, we're already in field goal range. But hey, that's what happens when you have a team full of losers. 4th and 3 coming up. Jackson Dart, 3 wide receiver set. Theo Johnson in the game. Tracy in the backfield beside him. Vikings dialing up something exotic. Dart escaping, and he's going to get sacked. And that's Van Ginkel. 1:58 left in the game. Giants have 2 timeouts. And at this point, they're going to have to get a 3 and out, use all their timeouts, and try to score with probably like 40 seconds left. Looks like they're going to finish the tank, man. Looks like they're going to do it. It looks like they're going to finish that tank for real. Because, yeah, this is not like Kafka got taken to the clinic against I keep wanting to say Dable against Flores. What's Dart's best skill as a quarterback? I say extending the play. I say changing the arm angles, the all the backyard stuff he's really good at. On top of that, he's hit a couple of guys. They've dropped all of the passes he's thrown today has been good, and he's barely gotten to throw the ball. So, I mean, it is what it is there. But I mean, he's hit guys. They just keep dropping the ball. Yeah, this is the handoff game. And Flores, yeah, he's 10-1 against rookie quarterbacks for a reason. But I won't say that Mike Kafka prepared Jackson Dart the best. I just won't say that. Let's see what we got here. He doesn't deserve an interview for anything. Yeah. Kafka's gonna get an interview because he's gonna count as a minority interview. And it just only makes sense to use that interview on Kafka. But he's not gonna be our coach. Like, he's not gonna be the coach. um because again, for the coach to be fired and you be the offensive coordinator and the quarterback falls off a cliff, that shows that, like, how much credit do you get for that offense looking like how it looked? You know, how much credit are you going to get for that offense looking that way? So here we go. Dart has nowhere to go with the ball. Well, he actually did, but he was under pressure. And this is just the perfect game. You're going against Flores with no Andrew Thomas and no John Runyon on the left side. So 158 left. The Giants' only shot at getting back into this game or taking this to overtime is getting 3 stops, getting a punt, and kicking a field goal to tie the game. And that field goal is going to be, like, again, with like 40 seconds left. Aaron Jones is going to go down a half a yard short. The Giants will take their timeout. 152 left in the game. Like, the way that this team has lost games this year, it almost makes me happy that they've lost all these games, because when we get somebody competent in here at coach and at GM, but specifically at coach, um, I think we're going to have a shot to win a lot of games, because it's been all of the minor details that has been wrong with this team this year. All of the minor details. Undisciplined, they can't, this team cannot execute when it matters most. That's really what it comes down to. Did we even attempt? No, we didn't attempt to get him in the rhythm. Like, we didn't attempt to get him in the rhythm. He had no passing attempts. He had one. He got sacked one time, and before that, he completed a pass or threw an incomplete pass. Aaron Jones up the middle almost broke away, but picked up 4, maybe 3. But yeah, he had an incomplete pass and a sack in the first quarter. That's all he had. He had two attempts. One was an incomplete pass that got called back because I think of like a roughing the passer or something, and then the other was a sack. So barely got to throw the ball in the first quarter, and in the second quarter barely threw the ball. And you're going into the second half, and the guy's thrown it like 6 times. So of course he's out of rhythm. So 3rd and 8 coming up. Giants use both timeouts. Aaron Jones coming back into the game after limping off. I don't even know if that's legal. If you come out of the game because of an injury, you're going to have to stay off the field. But we make our own rules here. 3rd and 8 coming up. Here we go. Aaron Jones up the field, picks up the first down. That'll do it. Listen, the Giants are going to be picking. Giants are going to be picking number one for another week. We'll still be in that number one slot. So that's going to wrap the game up there. 3rd and 8. 3rd and 8, and you get blown off the football like that. The running back runs untouched across the first down marker, and Max Brosmer picks up a win against the Giants defense. These people cannot close out games. So as always, I'm going to record this post game, and then we'll talk a little bit about what happened. And then I'm gonna jump out of here because got stuff to do. More important stuff than watching this Giants team stink up the place. What's going on YouTube? Diggy546. Another week, another Giants loss. What is this, 12 straight now? We have our last win, believe it or not, was that Eagles game where we thought we were going to turn the corner and become a playoff team. Like that's our last win, I think, at this point, where Scatterboo was healthy. We were on top of the world, and you know, everything has fallen apart since then. But let me just the biggest highlight from this game, besides like we knew at the end of the game if we needed to do something to win it, if we needed to do something to galvanize the troops and, you know, come out with a win. We knew that we weren't going to be able to do that. We knew in our heart of hearts that this team wasn't going to be able to put that together because they have shown every single time they've been in a situation where they needed to execute in a crucial situation, they just simply couldn't do it. So I want to pull this up here. So let's look here. Let's look at Jackson Dart at his stats, because this is an abomination. Jackson Dart, the guy who came in and immediately galvanized the team, the guy who immediately came in and won his game against the Chargers, came out and should have won against the Vikings, not the Vikings, the Saints, and then came out and blew the brakes off of the Eagles. That guy that has looked good the majority of the season, that had 20 touchdowns and 4 interceptions coming into this game, threw for 33 yards. He threw the ball 13 times today, and he had an interception that was a drop pass because Jonathan Vilma was on the broadcast saying he put it too high, but the ball is right here, and Theo Johnson is trying to catch. Like, what are we doing? Got sacked 5 times a day, 27 quarterback rating, threw it again 13 times a day. I understand Brian Flores is very scary. You know, he does a lot of things at the line of scrimmage. He confuses guys, confuses rookie quarterbacks. But what chance do you have to make big plays, to do things that are explosive, if you give your quarterback 13 opportunities to throw the football? And let's say, okay, you know, he got sacked 5 times, so 18 and maybe 20. So 20 dropbacks altogether, but 13 attempts. So what chance do you have to make something happen in that situation? Yes, I understand we were running the ball well. There's a difference between running the ball well and saying we're going to stick to the run, and telling your quarterback we're going to run the ball 1st and 2nd down, and you're going to throw it on 3rd down. We're going to run it every 1st and 2nd down, and you're going to throw it on 3rd down only when we have to, because that's instilling in your team, okay, we can't make any mistakes, because if we make one mistake, we're going to lose the game. Like, you can't afford to make mistakes if you're making big plays. And speaking of big plays, Darius Slayton again on a crosser drops the football. I'm ready. I've been a long time supporter of Darius Slayton. I always thought he's gotten too much hate. I wanted to keep this guy here as the 3rd option, 4th option, whatever. Whenever we get a real wide receiver 2 in here, but it's like sometimes you just got to go, man. Like, the dude cannot catch to save his life, and on a team like this where we need him because Malik Neighbors is hurt to make these plays, it just becomes that much more frustrating. He cannot catch the ball consistently. It has hurt him all year this year, and it probably lost him millions of dollars because they're probably going to find a way to get out of that deal. And all of the money he was going to get if he had just been a reliable target. You can't be your 3rd. It's one thing if you're dropping passes, but every other game you're getting 60-yard touchdowns, 40-yard touchdowns like he was when he was younger. But he's dropping these passes and he's not doing anything besides that. So Darius, it's time for him to go. I mean, this should probably be his last season. I understand, you got to keep guys around. It is what it is. But come on, we cannot allow this dude to keep dropping the ball. Theo Johnson got targeted twice and dropped 2 passes. I understand the targets were not always perfect passes. They weren't flawless passes that could, basically got handed to him. But you got to stop with the drops, man. Tight ends should be reliable targets. And one of your drops, of course, led to an interception. So we can't have that. Ben Sauls, thank you, Ben Sauls. You didn't miss any extra points. You didn't miss any field goals. You didn't miss anything today, but you did kick the ball out of bounds on the kickoff. So I guess we can't have everything we want. But Ben Sauls, thank you for not missing any field goals. Even though it was a 39-yarder was your longest, you still made it. And I really appreciate that because it's been a big mess this year. Oh my gosh. Bobby Okereke again, 13 tackles. Again, I saw this guy make some tackles that I liked, and I also saw some plays where he just could not physically get there. And, who knows? It is what it is there. Newman had to scoop and score. You also left with an injury. This team is terrible. This team is just bad. They cannot get anything going. They cannot execute in any crucial situations, and it's just really frustrating. It's just really frustrating. Brian Burns today, they gave him 2 sacks. One was an option, I thought, and I just thought that that wasn't a sack, but they gave him 2 sacks today. So Brian Burns today is at 15 sacks total and a forced fumble again today. So 15 sacks for Brian Burns this year. He's on track. Who knows? He may get 16, 17 sacks. I love the year he's having. Abdul Carter, third sack, was disruptive. Besides that, forced a lot of pressure to the quarterbacks. Dexter Lawrence didn't get his sack today, but he did get a couple of really nice pressures. He's working his way back from that elbow injury that everybody lied to us and said was fully healed and obviously wasn't. And he's looking better and better every week. And I'm guessing by next year he'll be Dex again. But I mean, what a joke! What a joke! The Vikings beat us with. Let's just look up the team stats. The Vikings beat us with 240 total yards today. With 240 total yards, the Vikings beat us, and we put up 141 total yards, and we got Mike Kafka as our head coach. And I think that's really the biggest takeaway again from this game, as I said earlier, is that Jackson Dart had the world on fire on New York City, and we were losing games, but this guy was balling out on a weekly basis. He was getting 2 touchdowns every week. And we're in a situation now where Jackson Dart couldn't even get 50 yards in a game because we have not shown him this entire time since he's been back. We have not given him the keys to do anything. We're playing and not to lose. Kafka is like dead set on not abandoning the run and handing it off every single first down. So it's just been a mess. If Dart does not start to look like he used to look before when he was with Dable, then Kafka is going to have a really tough time getting the job. Really tough time getting the job this offseason. And it's just the truth there. It's just the truth. We allowed the Vikings to sack us 5 times. We had Andrew Thomas out with the hamstring. What else is new? I mean, the dude is always out with something. It was bound to happen. And then you got John Runyon out. So the entire left side, and then you had JMS missing. The entire left side and the center at some point in the game was missing. So that, along with the fact that Brian Flores is doing all types of crazy, Madden style nano blitzes and bails and all types of crazy stuff at the line of scrimmage where he's showing cover 1 and showing cover 0 and bailing the cover 3 and bailing the cover, like all day long. Every third down, there was a disguise at the line of scrimmage. So if we're going to have all of that along with the line being new and not being able to communicate, it was a disaster scenario. And all of that being said, guess what? Mike Kafka turned away 3 points at the end of the game, at the beginning of the game. And this game could probably be in overtime right now. So a lot of people want that Mendoza pick, and they want the first pick so they can trade out. Well, you got what you wanted, because we could very well be in overtime right now. and we could be in a situation where we could possibly win this game. So again, a lot of people are happy about the tank. I'm kind of indifferent because at the end of the day, I can't control what this team does, and we already have our quarterback, in my opinion, unless Caffey is just going to ruin him, like you ruined Daniel Jones. Maybe that's going to happen. Maybe the way we ruined Daniel Jones because we got rid of Shermer is how we're going to ruin Jackson Dart, and all of a sudden he's a guy that just scrambles around and can't make anything significant actually happen. Maybe that's what we're going to do to Jackson Dart because in the organization is bad enough, you will ruin whoever steps on that field. So maybe that's what we're destined to do is ruin Jackson Dart. And if we ruin this guy that looked like how he did early on in the season, then we're going to ruin Mendoza. We're going to ruin Arch Manning. We're going to ruin Dante Moore. And I know Arch Manning is going back, but I'm saying if we wait till next year, something has to change. Something has to get better. Got to get better coaching. Got to get a better GM to put pieces around this quarterback to where if Malik Neighbors gets hurt, the team isn't completely strapped at quarterback. At receiver. Because listen, Isaiah Hodgins is playing significant snaps at receiver. And it took Shane how many weeks to go and get Isaiah Hodgins? How many weeks? It took Shane to keep Hyatt on this roster for how long and not keep Lil Jordan Humphrey? So I just don't know what to say. It's just more of the same, and we continue to lose in all of the ways possible for it to lose. And again, I'm not really surprised. I'm really not surprised. So that's it. We'll be here during the week. We're gonna start to talk about the draft and GMs and head coaches. But another week, another loss. All right, folks. Let's see what I missed down in the chat. They should stop televising Giants games. 33 yards passing. We couldn't beat a college team right now. Besides Burns, 2 fields, all coach gone, no key. Yeah, we're gonna sign Illuminor. We got a lot of questions to answer. So the line has been good the majority of this season, but what happens when Andrew Thomas goes out like what happened? What happens then? What happens when Ryan, we got a lot of answers. We got a lot of things to answer. Saints just won their 3rd straight game. That's good. Let's add on to those win totals. Got to mix the run pass. Predictable, yeah. Don't we have 3 tight ends? What's up, Rick? Yeah. Why don't we play the rookie at this point in the season? I don't know. I don't know why we don't play the rookie. I don't get it. I have no idea why we don't play Fedoni at this point in the season. Why Manhurts is just there. I don't get it. I don't get it. I guess we ran the ball pretty well because Manhurst was in the game, but why not try to get Fedoni some reps at this point in the season? I just don't get it. You can prepare for teams like that, but you can only prepare a rookie quarterback for so much when they see that stuff live. But you still have to be aggressive. Like if Dart would have thrown 3 or 4 interceptions, it is what it is. He's a rookie quarterback, but maybe he throws for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. That probably wins you the game. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Hopefully the stairs turn out good. That's I've tried to do a lot of these stuff. I just kind of poop out after a while. I try to build a fence in my backyard, and I still have the stuff halfway built from a while ago. So good luck with that. But yeah, there's no point in watching the Giants. It's the same story every week. It's every week you're like, oh, they could have done this, they could have done that, and they would have won the game. And they just don't. They're not going to do the things they should have done. But yeah, hopefully we can get a coach in here that is competent. Hopefully we can get a coach in here that can, take Dart under his wing, give him some structure, and continue what Dable has started. Because Kafka obviously either doesn't trust Dart, doesn't know how to work with Dart, but it's not looking good. It's not looking good for what we're seeing between Kafka and Dart. Like, I don't know if Dart is just sad because Dave was gone, but he's not playing. He's not playing as well as he was. Not playing as well as he was, and he's not being put in position to do it either. Like, again, how does your quarterback only have 2 or 3 attempts in the first quarter? How did we get into the first half and he has 6? Like, are you kidding me? Like, that's ridiculous. That's completely ridiculous, man. Like, that there's no way that you should be getting that deep into a game, into the second half, and your quarterback, their arm isn't even warm. Like, their arm isn't even warm because they've barely thrown the ball. It's the same way. Why are you going to start throwing it to your star wide receiver like Malik Neighbors in the fourth quarter or the third quarter? Like, they get surprised when these players drop balls or when these players make mistakes when they don't have a feel for the game. Again, you don't start off a game and not the best point guards in the NBA, and I don't even watch the NBA anymore, but the best point guards in the NBA get all of their teammates the ball in the game early on in the game, and how in the spots that they like to get the ball. That way, everybody's touched the ball, everybody's in rhythm. So when you need them in the fourth quarter, they're there. So maybe if you would have given Dart those early passes in the game and say he throws 3 or 4 interceptions, maybe at the end of the game when you needed him, he makes the plays that you need him to make. Now you'll never know. Now you'll never know. And, again, we'll be on a third and long. And instead of just throwing the ball, you would rather run the ball on third and long to throw it on fourth and long or 4th and 5. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, what's the point of doing that? Why not just throw the ball on third and long? We lost by 3 points. Look at the score. We lost by 3 points. We didn't take the field goal that we had early on in the game because we were being aggressive. But when it's time to be aggressive and throw the football, we don't want to do that. But, yards per carry, 4.5, 4.6 yards per carry today. So Kafka's probably happy with that. But it doesn't matter. We're wrapping the season up in 2 weeks. Raiders next week. If we lose to the Raiders, I think that pretty much will ice the first pick, which will be crazy to me that we could, because just think about it, folks. I understand the Giants have played bad at times and they have lost some really, really bad games and they've blown some bad, but at the end of the day, they've competed with some of the best teams in football. They've competed with some of the best teams in football, and they really are at a situation where, you were thinking like, okay, you add a couple of pieces, then they could start beating some of these teams, but they competed. And this isn't like, oh, they took this one team to the wire. They took almost every good team that they played against this year that's going to be a playoff team. They took them to the wire or beat them in the Eagles situation or the Chargers situation. So the teams that they beat or came close to beating are playoff teams and quality teams, and they're going to be picking first overall. That just shows that every game is being decided by the players. It's being decided by how the individual players play on a week-to-week basis, which shows the coaching is completely shot, and it's just a bad situation. Yeah, man, like that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. And it's exactly what happened. Like you have to throw the ball with your quarterback. Come on. So, we're getting Scatterboo back. We're getting Neighbors back. We're getting McFadden back. So, still add to the linebacker spot, add to the defensive tackle spot. Darius Alexander's getting better. You'll have a nice rotation with Darius Alexander as your third or fourth defensive tackle, and I think he's getting better again every week. You got Carter, you got Burns, and you got Tibbs, unless you trade Tibbs, but you'll have that core. Get some help in the secondary. So, there's some things you can do to improve everything. You get a guy like Caleb Downs. Caleb Downs by himself may be able to fix his defense because you're going to add a defensive coach, whether it be a D coordinator or a defensive head coach. Caleb Downs added to this defense and adding a corner that isn't terrible. I think you can really make some stuff happen, but we got to have the right coach. Got to have the right coach. But folks, I got to jump early today. Got some errands to run. But things are starting to slow down. We got the holiday this week, so I'll probably have some videos out. I didn't have any out last week, but I'll probably have some videos out, maybe just like about the off season, about that whole Mendoza stuff and how crazy that is. But I'll probably have some stuff out this week. You all enjoy the rest of your day. The season is winding down, and we're here again at the end of another season, talking about how we are, that the season is over for us. We're not going to the playoffs again. So it's frustrating, but it is what it is at the end of the day, folks. So you all have a great rest of your day, and we're going to jump out of here.